Yeah, we're gonna get all of that good shit, man. Hold on. Alright, the battery's going up anyway. Alright, we're good. Right, call hello, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kodash. And double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Oh, shit. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning and supporting the ministry. And we're at camp today. I entitled the video "The Network of Care" because there's an article that I brought it out before, and what the hell? Right, I brought this article out again, simply because going through this article, we can be edified as to the way we're supposed to really be living, because the way Jake is, and it's not just now. This is the reason why we're in the situation that we're in. The way Jake is, the way we treat each other, is completely opposite to how the Lord had commanded us to be. The way we are as a people, the way we interact, right? Between father to the children, mother to the children, every relationship you can think of is governed by the fundamentals of the law that the Lord provided us with. All right, and Yahweh Shai came to reinforce those principles and those laws, but our people reject it, and then that's why we are the way we are today. That's why all this pain and suffering exists among our people, and we're the main ones doing it to each other. We're a terror unto ourselves. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we're gonna put the so-called white man to the side today, because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, and he's an enemy. But you know what? There's a saying on the islands, because the islands got a lot of sayings. Proverbs. And them proverbs there. My grandmother used to say, it hurt more when your own louse bites you. So to translate that, what that means is, it hurts more when it's one of your own that's doing you wrong. Because you expect someone else, we expect the so-called white man to treat us like shit and to mistreat us and do wickedness against us, because he's the enemy. Yep. You should expect the other nations to mistreat you because they're the enemy. Yep. What you don't expect it to be from your own brother, or from your own sister, or from your own mother, or from your own father, or from your own children. But that's basically the condition, that's the ghetto. The ghetto is just Jake transgressing against each other in a never-ending loop of wickedness and suffering, right?
I'm sure there's another scripture like that. And it goes like one of those proverbs, man. Like a cut from an enemy cuts deeper than a cut from a cut from a friend. It cuts deeper than a cut from an enemy, or something like that. And when it's close to home, it hurts that much more.
Betrayal, innit?
Yep.
But that's the law was the reason the law was established for those things not to happen. So we're going. You guys have some opening scriptures, and then I'm going to read this article, and we're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about how the nation is supposed to be, the bonds which are supposed to hold us together. Not only our physical bonds, which goes into understanding our relation to each other, like that, you know, the family group. We're going to go into all of that, but also then with those bonds come a standard which is in the law, and within the law is so many fundamentals that if we were to apply them, life would be good. We could live together without fear, without mistrust. Right now you can't. Right now you're scared of your own people, and don't tell me you're not. Don't tell me you're not scared when you go to the cash machine and you see a group of Jake with their hoodies on, with their ballies on, perusing around at the corner. You know, when we were growing up, you weren't really too worried about a bunch of white boys jacking you up. It's Jake that will give you problems if you stepped out of the area or stepped out ends. To this day, there's certain areas I just wouldn't go to, because if you're unfamiliar among Jake, boy, which isn't there not a law of the stranger? Yep. That's not supposed to happen. So we're gonna go into all of that. So let's get these scriptures that's kicking it off, and we're gonna learn why the law is so fundamental. Why the law is so precious, because the law brings life.
Yep. So
whatever you want to kick it off with.
This is from Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17, where it says, "Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him." So we're meant to educate you, man, in the ways of the Heavenly Father and His law, right? And to try and, you know, draw you away from doing wickedness and evil, man. All right, that is what brotherly love is. Making sure that you're keeping true to the commandments that the Heavenly Father gave to us, man.
Right.
So we can live well.
And you know what smacks it is? See, there's this whole ideology of, if this person is doing something over there, it's got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
No, it has everything to, because no man is an island. And if you understand the scriptures, you're not an island, right? So if your brother is in ignorance, then guess what? That's gonna affect you at some point. So it's on you. It's to your benefit to rebuke your brother, that he be edified, and now he's upholding the same standard as you. Now, if you don't do that, then not only is he gonna be punished, but then his ignorance can then affect you, because
it's an infection.
it's gonna lead to sin, though.
Yep.
So he might rob you. He might he might transgress against you because he's no longer holding the correct standard of how to interact with each other.
Yep.
So that's why it's important to rebuke your brother, right? So that he can be on the same level as you. You can be on that standard. And even in Esau's world, they know how important it is to have a universal standard. That's why when you go into these trade agreements, the majority of trade agreements is establishing what? Similar standards. Because when you have similar standards, then you can buy products from this person. They can buy it from you.
Because you'll be still being held to the
Because
same
you're being
account.
held from the same, so you know what to expect. When you don't have the same standards, like another example, diverse measures and weights.
Yep.
Listen, I got a pound, you got a pound. We both understand what a pound is. We operate under that same notion. It brings that harmony and peace. All right?
Right now it's like Wild Wild West shit, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get the cowboy thing. Everyone's the law unto themselves.
Yep. Verse 18 says, "Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord."
Right. Now, what does that go into? That goes into, that's why we have a law with judgments. And that's a big thing that our people don't have. So you have these situations where Jake always getting get back, and there's no order to the get back. Just like Jake could be doing all kind of wickedness to each other, and it becomes a tit for tat thing, and it becomes a never ending bloodshed because there's no order or judgment to anything. Now, if we kept the law and understood the law, then there would be judgment. You would understand, okay, that person from over there, he's committed a murder against someone from over here. They would understand, and you would understand that there's a judgment that needs to occur that would end it. And then once that judgment occurred, that should be the end of it now.
Because it's recognized, it's enforced.
It's enforced, and then so now these brothers over here should not have an ongoing grudge against these brothers over here, because justice has been performed. But with Jake, man, it never ends.
Escalation.
It's always escalation, and it's always tit for tat, and it's a never-ending bloodshed. And you're gonna find that in any inner city in the world where Jake is, and that's a big part of the murder rate that exists in Jamaica, Caracas, fucking Mexico. Why? Because the law isn't established in terms of a standard of behavior, but also a standard of judgment. And understanding that we need to clear the slate and move on. Jake don't move on.
Yep.
One instance that happens between two Jakes, no matter how small and big, can lead to a multi-generational warfare that never ends. And it could be as simple as man disrespecting man in a party somewhere, and two ends are now beefing, and there's all this bloodshed. Go on up.
Another one is 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. It says, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "Finally be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful and courteous, not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing."
That's right. That's how we're supposed to treat each other. But Jake don't treat each other like that. Then they want to run around here talking about Black Lives Matter, man, when your lives don't matter to yourself. And it's a complete hypocrisy, and the whole world sees it, and they're like, well, you know, what's going on here? These dudes are marching in the street because someone kneeled on some black man's neck, and in that same week there'll be 1 million videos posted up on the social media of Jake kidnapping and murking each other and beating up granddads. The other day a bunch of Negroes beat up some granddad to death. But there ain't gonna, Jake ain't outraged. Jake isn't outraged when they're running around killing each other and doing these things. But then as soon as a so-called white police officer punches Jake in the face, we need to have this massive march and you're crying about
Police
it.
brutality.
Well, you gotta have, really, you're supposed to have the same, even more energy about you and where you're treating yourself. Because how is the so-called white man gonna treat you better than how you treat yourself? How does that work? How can the enemy treat you better than how you treat yourself? So Jake is messed up in the mind, man. But you see, beginning with this ministry, we're learning to treat each other with that proper love, that real love, which is in the commandments, man.
Yep. Verse 10 says, for he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and let his lips that they speak no guile. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it.
Seek peace, eschew evil and do good. Jake loved the drama. Jake loved drama more than peace. Very toxic individuals, especially the women. They're toxic. They're toxic, man. They've been damaged. So they love the grease. They love the excitement of when there's beef or when shit's going down. They don't want to chill. They don't want to live in peace. Jake don't want peace. They want problems always. Yeah. There's certain Jake that don't feel like themselves unless there's some crud going down. That's a fact. Just like you got some women, like they're in a relationship, they don't feel like themselves unless there's an argument going on. If there's any form of peace for any prolonged period of time, they start going crazy because there's that damage in the brain. And there's a lot of niggas like that too. When the ends ain't hot and they ain't got no ops to go get, or they start getting agitated, man.
Well, with the whole chick situation, it's like, you know, they got that thing going around, toxic chick now, right?
Yeah.
They love causing problems for their men, you know? And if they don't feel like their men love them. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and I'll tell you this, a lot of niggas love them problems too. A lot of niggas will tell you, oh, she's boring. They want a girl that's gonna throw a pot at their head. It's mad. We're in the most maddest era that's ever existed in my life. I had a nigga tell me that the other day. I'm like, yeah, you know, don't you just want a good girl that just does what he says? I was like, nah, like, bro, the niggas like, there's this toxic people. Jake are generally a very toxic people, man, right now.
Damaged, bro.
They're very damaged. They love the grease. They love the toxicity. They love the hate. They don't feel like themselves unless something's going down. That's what excites them.
Too much world star hip hop, man.
That world star shit. That's
It's
why
too
it's
much
good
it is,
entertainment for them.
Yeah.
They don't want to just do the farming.
This is verse 12 says, for the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And who is he that will harm you, if ye be followers of that which is good? And if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled.
Right. Who is he gonna harm if you do the right thing? Now there's another scripture. You got something?
Yeah.
Okay, if you got something, bring it out, because there's another scripture. You know, it talks about your own backsliding. Because you know, we'll get it in a minute, right? A lot of our judgment that we receive it at the hands of ourselves. See, when sin reigns, you end up, yeah. When you allow sin to occur, when you allow sin to establish itself amongst a people, what ends up happening is, it ain't just going to be you sinning against other people are going to be sinning against you. So what does that mean? You're going to suffer at the hands of murderers. You're going to suffer at the hands of thieves. You're going to suffer at the hands of adulterers. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. So then, like I said, even if you look among Jake today, a lot of the pain and the anguish that Jake is suffering, they're suffering from themselves.
Yep.
Just look at it in reality.
Sin affects us all, man.
The sin is going round in a fucking, like in a circle.
Yep.
Now, if we treat each other with love and respect according to the law, we'd be 100 million times better off than we are right now. You'd want to live in the ghetto.
Yeah, not be worried about who's sitting on the corner.
Because you would feel more safe.
Yeah.
The only problems you would have is what? With Esau. I'm just being honest with you, man. And this brother can attest.
Yep.
Yeah? Jake, listen, you can't even, when I was growing up, you couldn't go to a rave. That's why I stopped going raving. Especially house raves. Because man's are pulling out knives, trying to ching people all the time.
Because man stepped on man's shoe or some
People are
shit.
pulling out guns. You can't even get too many Jakes in the same vicinity that are from different areas. From the same areas probably, but especially from different areas not turning up. It's static, man. You can feel how thick the air is, man.
Postcode shit.
Shit's explosive. It's like dynamite. Something's gonna go down. It's not supposed to be like that. You're not worrying about Esau turning up. You're like, yo,
Yeah.
going up.
You still don't even like the music.
Yeah, but when you go to them Edomite raves, it's more safe. I'll be honest with you. We used to go Oceana. When you go Oceana, everyone's hugging each other, man. I was like, what the fuck is this? When we used to go Birmingham, they opened up an Oceana. It's got like fucking 17 rooms. And you were just going through Oceana, random man. Would be like, "Hey!"
Man's on that MDMA. Man's all high.
Friends are all fucking in there. There's not even one fight the whole night. Yeah, everyone's just drinking and having fun. And then the one night they had niggas there.
Man, will stand up against the wall, staring guys out, you know,
Boy,
intimidating
static,
himself, man.
This book of Matthew 22 and the study 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahweh shall say unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
So if it's lucky, if you love the Heavenly Father, man, you're gonna love His law.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a righteous law, man.
But he
you
said
got
that if
respect-
you love me, you keep my commandments.
That's right. Yep.
Which evidently our people don't love the Lord, because another thing the Lord said, he that hateth his brother, he that saith he loveth me, but hateth his brother is a murderer, right, and a liar. Because how can you hate your brother that you see,
Yep.
right, and then claim you love the Most High who you don't see?
Yep.
So evidently our people, they don't love the Most High, because they blatantly hate each other. This is a fact. Go on.
Thou shalt love thy Lord, the Lord thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind.
That means you're gonna meditate on these scriptures. You're gonna meditate on the law. You think these guys are thinking about the law?
Oh, that means you're not going to commit, because you can filter all the other laws back into these things. So that means you're not gonna commit idolatry. That means you're gonna keep the high holy days, because all that's part of loving the Lord, having that obedience and respect for the Lord, which Jake obviously don't have.
Yep.
Go on up.
This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor
Thou
as
shalt
thyself.
love thy neighbor as thyself. Yeah, not to be selfish. That's what this world teaches you to be selfish. This world is all designed about individualizing you.
Love
You
thyself.
become an individual. It's all about being a lover of yourself. Yeah, you're all about you. So that's why they push these things like YOLO, you only live once, and it's my truth, and you know, and then so you have no respect for anyone, not even your family. You just out there doing what you want to do, without any regard as to how it's affecting, how it's gonna affect your own people, your family, or the people around you.
Precept.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? What's a big sign of that? Littering. You fucking littering everywhere, fucking up where you live. It's pissing up the hallways. You know.
See it a lot.
Come on, man.
Rioting,
That's all.
looting, stuff.
That's a sign of a people that are full of selfish people that would destroy the environment for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, just come on.
But it used to happen all the time. I remember back in the courts, back at Amazement Park, innit, man?
Oh,
Used to
yeah,
teach you all different types of courts there over the years, innit? Tennis courts, football courts. They just get mashed up on there.
Yeah. For no reason.
You know? You know what I'm saying? Because assholes, you know?
Selfish motherfuckers, man.
But I just
And
want, so go.
Yeah, and then they're not trained that way. They're not trained to care about each other. They're not trained that way, man. You know, it's all about me. You know, which we're gonna show you that, according to the scriptures, you're not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be caring about others. You're supposed to love your neighbor as you love yourself. That means you care. And the neighbor wasn't just talking about the person that lived next door to you. It was talking about other Israelites, but not just your family, not just the other families that would be surrounding you, not just your clan, not just your tribe, but the nation. So that also extended to the stranger that would sojourn
Yep.
you'd even have an obligation to love that stranger.
Yep.
To
Look after him,
to
put
look
him up.
after him.
Yep.
That's why we had that when we was in our right mind. We had that thing that you could go anywhere and people would welcome you in and
Yeah.
take care of you like you're one of their own.
Peace.
Now nowadays, you can't do that because again, you might take a stranger and they might kill you and your family, man, because they don't hold the same standard.
But this is it, man, because we all greet each other, we all say shalom, right? And that means peace,
Peace,
right?
yeah.
And yes, you would greet one another, man. You might be a sojourner, man, but you know, come peaceably, man. We're brethren. You know, what do you need? You know, do you got a place to stay? Wherever, you know, wherever the case may be, do you need water? You know, for your camel or whatever. You know what I mean? You act brotherly amongst one another, man, because we're one people. All right, but that's it. Right now, this whole satanic world that we live in today, man, is all do thou will. It's all about yourself. It's all about selfishness. It isn't about oneness. You know, these people are not together. You know, these people don't care about one another or their environment. They don't care.
Care about nothing, man, about himself.
But I just want to grab this. It's from 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." This is where we're at right now. Right? "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous."
Yeah.
What's the you know, the image of our people, man? We're always fucking wanting the baddest shit all
Wanna
the time. Wanting what
consume.
each other's got.
I wanted to show off.
His woman, his jewelry, whatever a man's got, man, I want it.
Yeah, because he said lovers that sell, and social media is bringing that out even more.
Yep.
The narcissistic behavior. Everything has to be about me, 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 me. Every situation has to boil down to how it affected you. And it's never about how it affected no one else. It's all about how it affected you. And it's all about me and my truth and how I feel and me, this.
Yep.
And then it's all about covetousness. I see this. I deserve to have this.
Yep.
I deserve to have that. Oh, this person doesn't deserve to have that. They don't deserve it. I deserve it. So then that's where you get all the hate nation
Yep.
and the jealousy and the green eye business. And that's why you can't have nothing around your own people, because your own people want to rob you.
Yep.
Listen, let me ask you a question. And listen, we're going to leave the white man out here for a minute. We know the white man is stealing and shit, yeah? But usually when Esau's stealing, it's like institutionalized thing. So it's like Esau robbing you with the record deal and all that. We get that, yeah? But let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of a rapper like, getting his chain snatched by a bunch of white boys?
Never heard it.
How many of these rock stars and pop stars, these white boys, get their chain snatched when they go out there to listen? Getting your chain snatched is like a rite of passage to be a getting robbed. Yeah, is like that's just who it is to be a Jake. You just know that if you got like if you got a chaps, back in the day it was a phone. If you had a phone, you just know that if you
Had it out in the wrong
you had it
place.
out in the wrong place, Jake is gonna come and take you, man.
Take it.
Jake would take that,
Shot it.
even when we was in school, you know, Joseph Cole and them, man, come up, go through your bag, take your Pokemon cards.
Man shot them at the comic store. You know what I'm saying?
Brothers been getting jacked up. Niggas take your bike.
Jack 'em.
Jackums, man, they love to eat man up. They love it. They love to steal. They go down Chocaderos and just prey on other Jakes that's got their phones.
Yep.
Yeah. Niggas, I remember one time where a nigga robbed another dude in front of me. He didn't rob me
Sorry,
because
tell me that story,
yeah,
yeah.
he didn't rob me because he knew me, innit? Like, so he's like, and then he was chatting to the guy that was with me, and he was like, "Oh, that's a nice hat. Let me try it on," and he just never gave it back. Covetous niggas. Hey, go on, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, man, everything that we're gonna talk about, you will have experienced because you live. If you live around Jake, this is just how it is.
It's part of the curses, man.
It's part of the
Part
curses,
of the
man.
curses, yep.
Jake are wicked, man.
It says, "For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters." You know, Jake like to
That's
fucking
Jake.
boast.
Jake just love to boast, and what they're doing is they're boasting to get one up on their own brother. Jake don't see it in their mind that they're like, okay, let me elevate myself, and then I can elevate my people with me. Their mindset isn't that. Jake really want to be elevated so he can look down on his own people
to feel good about himself.
to feel good about himself. Jake got a weirdo mindset, and
Jake likes to feel like they're special.
they got to feel like they're special or something, which we're the worst people for doing that. Now the other nations do it, but I'll tell you this for free. The other nations, the reason why they do better than us, yeah, is because they work together better. They know how to work together to build up each other's businesses and do what they got to do. Jake won't work together for shit. Jake cannot work together. because the reason is that they got hate for each other and they don't like to see another person doing anything. They don't. This is a fact. Jake don't like to see other people have a business and that business is flourishing and thinking, well, how can I help them and how can they help me? Which when we get into this article, you're gonna find out how we weren't there, when we was in our right mind. We weren't like that. We were all about helping each other out, and if you became exalted, it was in your interest to exalt your brother as well, so that if you fell into hard times, he could help you out, and if he fell into hard times, you could help him out. So we're gonna get into the article, but we'll keep reading.
Yep. This is proud.
You can't expect Jake to help you no more when you're in problems.
Damn bad. This is proud. You know, Jake for the pride, man, right? Blasphemers. It's coming out as well, man. On a boatload. Disobedient to parents. Yeah.
Disobedient to parents, not respecting legacy, not respecting what your parents that were before you, your forefathers. Disobedient, just rebellious. Jacob rebellious, man.
The men don't care about elders.
They don't care about they don't care about they don't care about fathers. They just care about figures.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yep.
Jake don't care about, like I was thinking about, like Jake in London. Here it is, their forefathers came here from the West Indies, suited and booted, and went through hell to establish themselves in here. Yep. And what are Jake doing? All that hard work and that sacrifice, these Jakes are running around here selling crack and chinging each other down in the streets. Man, no respect for the legacy. But if they thought about that, then maybe they might be like, look, I gotta do better, man.
Hey, but look how far it's fallen, man. Because when we first come over to this country, man, like Jake was by himself.
And we have to work together.
Yeah, you know, have to be more, you know, cooperative with one another, man. You know, we're looking out for one another. But now it's the opposite to that.
Now they're chinging each other down, man.
Madness.
Yeah, mad thing.
This is disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Because they just want to be part of the world. You know, they want to do what the world is doing. You know, which is just wickedness, right? So without natural affection.
Without natural affection, man.
Truce breakers. You know, these people are not men of their word, right? False accusers. Setting up,
lying, man. Lying and all that happens among Jake.
Yep.
Yeah, the women, the men too. Niggas be lying on other niggas, man. False accusers, man.
Yeah, trying to bring man down. This is incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are
fierce,
good.
Man. Jake are like wild. Scripture says that they're like wild bulls amongst each other. It don't take much. Listen, it don't take much for Jake to lock horns and start getting it down and getting busy. It don't take much. Jake ain't got no patience for each other. It could just be a look.
Fragile egos, man.
You could just look at a Jake and you look in his direction and man's ready to throw down, man's ready to get busy.
Huh? Let's think about it. You actually gonna say something like that. What are you looking at, fam? Man, I call you family at the same time.
You don't know me, fam. You don't know me. Blood, calm yourself down, blood. We really got to do this?
Yep. This is despisers of those that are good. You know, because we ain't on crud. We might not take your shit anyway. This is traitors, heady, high-minded.
High-minded. Yeah, Jake could be the worst of the worst, and they'll have a high view of themselves, man. Uplifting these grimy niggas and these grimy bitches, man.
Yep.
Crazy.
It says lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God.
Lovers of pleasures, man. So all Jake do is seek out the crystal and the sex and all these things at the expense of righteousness.
Yep.
At the expense of the Most High. Like big children. Basically what they are, like big children, big overground children that have no understanding of discipline and how, you know, it's all about short-term gain and not thinking about the bigger picture and long-term, and how what you're doing is going to influence everything and just break it all down. Because everything Jake is doing is unproductive and ultimately self-destructive. And let's look at this element. This whole gang business, right? Gang business and the drugs and the human trafficking and the extortion. All these things that go along with all these gangs that Jake has, yeah? What has it actually done for the areas that these things occurring. Nothing.
Brought it down.
It doesn't develop the area. It hasn't edified the people of the area. It just brings it down. But they do all these for these short-term pleasures, so they can pop crystal in the club or whatever. It's all foolishness.
I mean, a good foundation takes time to build, man. You know, always you end up with them cheap China knockoffs, man. You know, put it up in the day, you know, but you know, in a week time, it falls apart, man.
It becomes what I call a net negative. You make a net loss. And the law, if you follow the law and the principles of the Heavenly Father, you're in a net profit. Overall, everything starts going up. Everything starts improving, as it did for us when we kept the laws in the first place. Everything was going up. Everyone's going up. Everything's good. Yeah, you might get a man that go down bad, but
You can help him.
he goes up anyway.
yeah.
That's why it's a net positive. As soon as you start not following the law and start doing foolishness, it becomes a net negative, because everyone gets brought down in the end.
Yep.
In the end, everything goes to shit.
I've got more, but if you want to bring that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 15 and I'm starting from 7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land which the Lord thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother.
Right, you're not supposed to be, the scripture speaks about being not a niggard. Now, the word niggard basically is the same as being like a miser.
Scrooge, yeah.
Or Scrooge. It represents someone who you're making a bag of money, but you don't want to let it off. You don't want to let off none of that money. You want to keep it, or you want to store it up for yourself. But you see, the true understanding is the reason the Lord has blessed you is so that you could help your brother. And that's how it is being in this truth as well. If you're being blessed, you're supposed to help your brother. Because that's why the Lord has blessed you. He didn't bless you so you could just
Live it
and then
up.
your brother's down there in the
Hurting.
dirt,
Yep.
hurting. You know?
And it's a lack of understanding as well, because anything you give away, you're not losing it. Most are blessed that still,
Blessed that,
because
innit?
you did good.
It'll come back around.
Exactly.
Because you're helping your brother. It'll come back around.
You
But
know?
that takes a deep
Spiritual
understanding. And that's why these things are built into the law. When you really read the law, there's a lot of fundamental principles that you can learn. The law does deal with taking care of people who are down and out. The widow, the fatherless, the stranger, the poor. Then there's a reason for that.
Yep.
But Jake don't give a fuck. And that's why we went down. In fact, there's another scripture where Jeremiah the 5th chapter, we'll get that as well. Jake started doing what? Extortion. And they're still doing that. Whenever that's what these gangs do. They extort businesses, human trafficking, and they're doing that to their own people. The cartels in Mexico, who they doing it to? Who they extorting? Who they human trafficking? It's their own people. They're not human trafficking Edomites. They're not extorting Edomite businesses. It's their own people. Extortion racket.
The weak.
Like mama said, escort your blood clot, escort me. Yeah?
See, but this is it. Our own people don't care that we're down bad, because, hey, they prey on the weak. We are the weak.
Yep.
And he has no concern that we're brethren. You know?
You could have saved up all your money just to buy that one phone. Jacob robbed it, man.
Yep.
Good,
But
But
thou,
my mum bought me that.
but thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth.
Yep.
Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year.
So this is going into the Lord Jubilee now, right? So basically, like, what's about to say, just because it's the year of Jubilee's coming up, man, don't refuse help just
Yeah.
because you know he ain't gonna be able to pay his debt back.
Yeah.
You know, don't think, oh, I ain't gonna
But the
do
Lord's
that.
gonna bless you anyway, because you
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
it for good heart.
That's right.
Because the Lord giveth and the Lord, take it away.
Yep. Go on.
The 7th year, the year of release is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother,
I ain't gonna help him because I ain't gonna get my money back, or whatever.
Potentially.
Yeah.
and thou givest him note, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be seen unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart.
Because you know what that's like. That year of release is like having bad credit. Man, no man want to lend to you. You know, these men don't want to lend you because you got bad credit. That is like that. But the Lord is saying, look, don't harden your heart. Don't be evil towards your brother who is in need just because of that situation.
Then wouldn't you want that help?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy power shall bless thee in all thy works and in all that thou puttest thine hands unto.
Right, because the reason you're even in a position to be able to give that, man,
Lord
is
bless
because the Lord has blessed you. And see, that's how it all goes around in a circle.
Mhm.
With that understanding. You know? So many people, you see these people come around and they disrespect the law of the Bible. It's exactly what the scripture says. The reason they disrespect in the Bible and the reason the laws are grievous unto them is because they don't understand. They do not understand the fundamentals of this law. It's so beautiful, man.
Yep.
It's the way to live. And it's not something which is going to be harmful unto you. It's good for you. It's good for your brother. It's good.
It's just bad for those that want to do wickedly.
It's there.
And that's the way it should be.
Bad
though.
for the wicked. And because you don't want a bunch of wickedness around you.
That's right.
When you listen, I hate having to live around wickedness, man, because it's not safe. It's not safe, man. It's not safe for me. It's not safe for my family.
Yeah,
Anyway,
bust the right out, it ain't safe no more.
it ain't, man. The hell you want to live around all this wickedness for?
Yeah, that's it, man.
There's a safety net.
Mhm.
Anyway, you got more?
That was it, yeah. Back in 2 Timothy chapter 3, I'm going to start from verse 4 right again. It says, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away.
That's right. And that's why ultimately, see, we're preaching this thing, hoping that the elect hear it and they understand. See, only the elect are really going to understand the virtues of the law that the Lord provided. Only the elect. See, the rest of our people, they're all going to get hung up on, the law system. And it's grievous unto them, and they don't understand the beauty. They can't see the beauty of the law. They can't see the beauty of what Yahweh Shai came to establish. And that's because it's not given unto them. So they're gonna be unjust still. They're gonna be filthy still, and they're gonna be destroyed in their ignorance. Because anyone that doesn't understand that life reaches its maximum capacity when the law of the Most High is instituted is a fool and doesn't know nothing about life. You don't even listen to that person. If they think there's another way or another law or any other way which is going to establish life to its maximum capacity, you gotta get, that guy don't know shit. He don't know shit about life.
Well, where these laws led us?
Exactly.
Under Esau, under these different nations, where's it led us?
It's not.
Everyone's
it's not really,
in the world is happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything, the whole earth's fucked up and people are fucked up and
messed up, man.
come on, man. Broken homes. Like, where's this really led us? It hasn't led us to no progression. I know people like to think we're progressing as a people. You know, all these laws are archaic and they don't belong in this new world that we live in. No, you don't, like, again, you don't understand them.
But life is archaic.
Life is life.
They say archaic. Life is archaic. So we got archaic law for archaic life. You want life to be archaic. Life is supposed to be long. You don't want life. That's why. Can you get that one in Jeremiah 5:2 that you had?
I've got to, yeah.
And then we'll get Jeremiah 5.
Go on.
And then I'll start reading from this bad boy article.
Oh, cool. Alright, it's Jeremiah chapter 2. Did you want verse 19 or did you?
Yeah.
It says, thine own wickedness shall correct thee, thy backsliding shall reprove thee. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter, that thou hast forsaken the Lord thy power, and that my fear is not in thee, saith the Lord of hosts.
There you go. Because the Lord removed that hedge and he opened you up even unto your own evil. And your own evil turn around and mess you up. Because how can you live in a society where people are corrupt?
And you can just stand there and be
You
happy
know,
with that.
everyone's lying, everyone's stealing, everyone's committing adultery. To me, you can't trust no one. You're not supposed to be in a society where you can't trust no one.
Your leaders, your neighbours, you can't trust nobody.
You know how
Literally.
messed up that is to live when you can't even trust your own brother. You can't trust your own family because they might screw you over. That's messed up life to live in. You can't trust your neighbor. You can't trust no one.
Your closest friends and shit, you know. You bet your bestie, you screwing your girl or some shit.
What kind of madness
You know
is
what I mean? Like, where's their peace?
There's none.
Where's any comfort? There's
There's
none.
no comfort. You can't be comforted by no one.
Can't be comfortable.
You got Jeremiah 5?
I've got that here as well, yeah. Unless you got it.
Because this is going to go into how when Jake started going off, Jake started doing all that stuff, man. Extorting each other. Like, buying all this tycoon stuff. buying up all the land, buying up, like basically taking advantage of the poor. And then that's what you see happening with all these gangs. It don't matter whether you're from Jamaica, whether you're from Mexico, all the gangs end up doing the same thing. They take over a neighborhood, they start extorting the businesses, they start trafficking the people, killing anyone that don't, you know. But that's nothing new. That goes back to the times of Jeremiah. That's why he said, look, man, you guys are going to go down because you're wicked. You're not establishing righteousness and judgment.
Yep. Did you want from the top or you want?
We can start from, yeah, start from the top.
Let's quick one, because I mean, you speak about covetousness.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah 6 and 13. For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness.
That's exactly, whether you're the top Jakes or the lowest Jakes, they're all given to covetousness, man. Covetousness, man. Go on up.
And from the prophet even unto the priest, if everyone deals falsely.
Everyone's dealing falsely. They're not being true. They don't stick to their word. They got ulterior motives.
That's right. This is Jeremiah chapter 5 from verse 1, right? It says, run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem, and see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof, if ye can find a man. If there be any that executeth judgment, that seeketh the truth, I will pardon it.
And that's how bad it is. It was so bad in Jerusalem, just like how it is now. They're just niggas is just out here running wild, doing madness, man. Going after their own lusts. Just messed up, man. And look what it's getting us.
These guys don't seek truth.
Hell no.
You know, they might claim they do because some of these guys into certain things, right? They might say they claim truth, but really you're seeking for something that really just suits your character, man. You know, or something you can make money out of.
Yeah, because when they buck up against the prophets, they always got a problem. Oh,
Yeah.
I like this part. No, bro.
Yep.
You gotta accept the whole role. The Lord, you can't. The righteousness of the Most High, you can't basically take bits of it that you like and bits you don't like. That's why when we brought out on the law on rape, these dudes all got grape, I should say. These dudes all got bugged out their mind. What are you getting bugged out for? You got to accept the whole law and all the judgments in it, because that's the perfection. You can't what they call it, man, redact parts of the law. Oh, I like that bit, but that bit I don't like. No, I agree with that, but I don't agree with that. Doesn't work like that. The law didn't offer the law up like what do you call it, man? In modules. You know, like when you're doing programming, you can create modules. You can take a piece out if you want, and the program still works.
These are optional.
Modular.
judgments.
Yeah, optional. It's not optional, man. It has to be established in its entirety in order for it to work. Yeah?
Yep. This is verse 2. And though they say the Lord liveth, surely they swear falsely. Because they're not really about the Lord. Yeah.
And that's today. You'll have someone make a statement that's completely against the Bible, and in the same sentence talk about how much they love God. And especially these fucking black women, they do that, man. Some nasty stuff. And then she'll start talking about how Eve could get pregnant by herself and all this madness. You're like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Like, why are you even mentioning God before, man? You don't believe in him. You don't believe in his word.
Yep.
Just hypocrites, man. But that's Jake.
Yep. Verse 3 says, O Lord, are not thine eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return.
Yeah, and that's going to represent the majority of our people. They're going to refuse to return. They don't want to hear this word. They don't care about the Bible. All they care about is getting to that bag. Or you got all these dudes that want to, I don't like the way of the West, so they want to go to Ghana and buy some land in Ghana and go back to the earth, and they start talking about Mother Earth. And listen, you're gonna die in Ghana, you fucking wretch. And they start talking about, all this naturism and blackism. Lord, get out of here. You think you're better than anyone else, man? You ain't righteous, man. There's only one way, and that's the way that the Lord has prepared before us, man. So your way ends in death as well. So just remember that's coming to you, about you buying land, and
you think your way of life and your path that you're on is the righteousness, or the way of you know, the way it should be. But it's to say, man, there's a what's let's go back on
There's a way which
Way,
seemeth
yeah.
right unto a man, but the end thereof
way
is
is death.
destruction, man.
That's right.
Death.
You know, and so like that's why it's important to know these scriptures, man, because you can't possibly know you're doing the right thing without knowing the scriptures.
And let's say you do get into all this Africanology, yeah, and all this back to nature crap, yeah. What's your laws and judgments? You end up with the same problem. You don't really have a standard of life or a standard of living. And they don't. If you speak to every single one of them, they'll all have a difference in what they believe is this and how this is meant to be.
Yeah, there's no set.
The Lord didn't allow us to even have none of that confusion. That's the beauty
That's
of it.
not up for discussion.
That's the other discussion. The Lord
It's there.
straight up the established, listen, I'm taking you out of Egypt. I'm gonna bring you into the promised land. Before you even touch that promised land,
These are the
this is how, this
how
is
you're
the
gonna live.
entirety of the law. This
Yeah.
covers everything. This covers everything that you're gonna do can come under these principles and these laws with judgments for it. So you don't even have to worry about what the judgment is. So you know you don't cut off a man's hand for stealing. It tells you in the law how you deal with it.
Mhm.
That the Lord didn't give us room to insert here and redact. No, we have it perfectly. We already have it. So these dudes in this black unconsciousness stuff, like Polite and all that, go to Sarnetta, get all them black unconsciousness demons together and say, well, if you did have your own society, how would you live? What are the laws and what are the judgments? They'll be arguing, they won't know. Imhotep, and they don't know, man. The best they can come up with is the negative confessions of Ma'at, yeah? And then you'll be like, so what's the judgment? Then there'll be a whole bunch of debate. We don't need to debate. It's all written there, perfectly provided for us as a gift.
Yeah.
It was done. We ain't got to sit there and work it out. The Lord gave us the handbook and the manual right there and then. This is life. This is how you can live. This is how to love.
Who's that?
Yeah, go on.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 8. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day?
So righteous, so right. It's
It
just,
works.
it's there and it balances. It's if a man commits murder, then he gets put to death. And that's the end of it. You're moving on. You don't have no fucking family feud that lasts 10 generations. No. You bring the judgment and that's it. It balances it out and we're moving on. If a man steal, pay back what he steal sevenfold and he work it off, then we're moving on. Right? The judgments are there to sort it out and move on.
And they put it to bed.
It's all there. It's all there. You see your brother. You see your brother's sheep that's fallen in a ditch. You rescue that sheep and you take it back to your brother. Now
Take it
that's
for yourself.
that's a principle. You know how beautiful that is, because you're building a bond that allows you
Trust.
to build trust and bond with your own brother, and then you can also trust that your brother would do the same thing for you. Which isn't that a good thing? If your sheep was stuck in a ditch, would you want your brother to just walk past the sheep, or would you want him to rescue your sheep and bring it back? And that goes for anything. What if your child was out there? You see?
Yeah.
So that's a principle of taking care of each other, taking care of his possessions. He'll take care of your possessions. Being mindful of harm that you could cause to him, he'll be mindful of harm which he can cause to you. What's wrong with that?
Hey, but you know, today these people don't really want to inconvenience themselves with doing something good, right? Because it takes time out of the day, right? You know, and they don't believe that's going to be done in kind, because there's no trust. There's
We're in such a situation now where it's not even safe to be a hero. Which, generally speaking, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how you're supposed to be a hero. You're supposed to be able to, there's someone in your village who's in trouble, we're gonna go help them. That's supposed to be how, but we're in such a messed up state that in itself you got to second guess that. Like, nah, man, I might have to just turn a blind eye to that one. This is how messed up life has become. Think about it. Like if this brother's son and I was embarking or whatever or wherever I am and I see him in trouble, I'm supposed to, yo, what's up, man? Yeah, you come with me, man. Look, man, I'll take care of you. It's supposed to be like that.
all kinds of things happening today, man. I remember that video we saw when I think someone's children, might have been his children, in trouble. He got off the bus and he got juked.
Yeah, he got juked up, man. Yeah.
He got juked, man, to try and save his daughters or whatever.
It was son. The guy was violating his son.
To
And-
youths, you know, the youths, innit? Like,
Yeah,
he was
some
grown ass
youths,
man.
Yeah, grown ass man violating the youths and that. It's another example of how Jake just don't know how to deal with each other. They don't know how to communicate and operate with each other, man.
Yep. Back in Jeremiah 5, this is
Died of that. I knew that guy was some kind of community worker or some stuff like.
he was trying to help. You know, and you can't help some of these gremlins, man.
Yeah, that's why ultimately the principles that we're talking about, mainly you gotta apply them amongst each other, among the brotherhood, and let these other niggas just die
Do what
because
they do,
they
yeah.
need to die. You can't. The fullness of what we desire cannot really be achieved here. It's gonna be achieved when the Lord comes back and we're together. We're gonna go back to living like this, and you could do that with everyone, and everyone understands what
Everyone's on the same
level
yeah.
playing field. You can't be like that with these niggas. These niggas they're like rabid dogs.
Well, this is Esau's world. It's a corrupted world. You can't raise something righteous out of corruption.
Yeah, you try it with these niggas, man. These niggas, just, you have to be guarded and separated to a degree.
And this is why,
But what we're trying to show you is how it's supposed to be. And you try and be like that as much as you can, but especially among the believers, really.
small sanctuary, you know.
And then when the Lord comes, it's gonna be perfect among all of us, because the rest of them be dead.
Well, that's what I say, man. That's why the Lord will destroy this whole place.
Yeah,
And
man.
start from zero, right? And establish a righteous kingdom. So that's the foundation now. So everyone can live like this. This is the standard now. This is how these laws are how everyone's gonna live by. So you can, you could expect, especially among your brothers, that everyone's gonna be on that same level with you, man.
That same level of understanding that and know how important it is. You're not gonna have niggas like, oh well, you know.
And even more beautiful for us, we're gonna be all about the law. You know what I mean? We're gonna be ingrained in us, man. We're gonna be perfect. So we ain't gotta worry about brothers and how they're moving and all this business. You know, we're actually gonna be at peace with one another. You know, perfect harmony. You
That's
know?
the only way to get peace.
Yep.
Through the law, man. And that's what these niggas just could not get into your thick skulls. But that's alright. You will get it. After death by pain.
That's it.
Then when you'll understand like, oh yeah, right then. The way the Lord gave us was the right way from the beginning.
Yeah, the ways of life.
The ways of life.
That's what it is.
That's it.
Bro, you got something there? You want to bring?
Yeah, cool,
Go on.
this is the book of Matthew 24 and the 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of men shall wax cold.
Right, people ain't got no love for no one over because you've been hurt so many times. You've been hurt by people. You've been hurt, man. So you keep getting hurt, after a while you become cold, isn't it? Like, oh, you know? And that's why
world, yeah.
I remember one time one guy was saying something to me, right? This is an example, right? Say like you're working on a train station, yeah? Obviously, you know you gotta pay to get in to go down to the platform, right? Now this is how much wickedness can change and fuck everything up for everyone. So he said he was working, he's a manager, he's a funny guy though, yeah. He got into an incident with a guy because he wanted to go down with his woman to help her take the pram down to the platform. So obviously she needs help to go down. So, but he wasn't traveling. So obviously he would have to let her in to go down to come back. Well, what do you need in that situation? Trust. He don't know this person, but you need to be able to trust that that guy is making the agreement, that he's not lying, like he's not trying to pull a fast one. But he said, look, I didn't let the guy in. Now the guy took offense that he wouldn't let him in, right? Because he's like, hold on, I'm telling you, And then so the guy said, look, I had to slow it down and explain to him, listen, imagine now you're in a station and someone asks you to go in to come back up. And it goes 5, 10, 15 minutes and that guy don't come back. And then you do it again and the same thing happens. When the third person comes, are you going to trust that third
I ain't
person?
letting no one down
You
there.
ain't letting no one down there. So then that's another example of how wickedness now
Perverts and
affects
corrupts.
everyone, and it perverts and corrupts things. So you can't have that no
Trust
more.
and, yeah.
When you should be able to, it should just be like, look man,
This is the
I need to
situation.
go down. Okay, brother, go down. I trust you. You can come back. But wickedness and evil, it causes people to get hurt. Or if you lend someone and they take the piss, then it's almost like you don't want to lend to no one no more.
Well, it's like we read it, tree springs. Man's not about his word.
Yeah.
You know, you think a man says something, you think you're gonna honor his word. Most men don't.
So then you don't want to. You just don't want to.
Don't want to do that no more.
So then when you need people to trust you, even if you're trustworthy, They don't want to trust you because they don't want to take the chance that you're gonna burn them like someone else burned them. And so the wickedness and the evil corrupts everything, and it makes it bad for everyone.
Yep.
Everyone suffers at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
It's like that saying, isn't it? Like, there's always one that fucks up for everybody else.
yeah.
And it's the same with wickedness. It only takes a couple of people, you know, for everybody, it messes everything up, man.
And you know what? That also goes into. Let me say this about you, Jakes. You Jakes like to bawl and cry about Esau and how everyone looks at us and we're not all criminals. But you have to understand that when you go out there, right? When you go out, and this goes back into what we're gonna read about the network of care and understanding how what you do affects people around you. It is natural for people to judge where and who you come from by your actions. It's completely natural. Yeah, if you're in the wilderness, right, and a fucking lion comes through and eats one of your children, let me ask you a question. The next lion that comes through, you giving it a chance? Oh, that must be one of them friendly lions that don't eat children.
No,
Straight away, you're
on the defensive.
your whole it's like lions are dangerous, but people are the same way. So when you this is why you should be angry at Jake that go out there and act like animals and act like beasts, because no matter what you say, other people are gonna judge you based upon what they done. So when you got groups of Jakes roaming around the streets, robbing people, chinging man down, doing all kind of foolish behavior, you got black women running around being belligerent and running their mouth, you might not be like that, but guess what? People are going to associate that behavior with you. So it's them that have caused that situation to fall upon you.
And another thing as well, in this world, right, the acts of negativity is greater than the acts of good in this world. You know, as I always used to tell when I'm back in my old job, man, you know, like you get the ratings for different places, right? And a person is less likely to leave a good comment than leave a bad comment. You're more likely to get more bad comments.
Because you remember that more.
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
more effective.
But that's true. You can have 90 good customers, right, and have one bad customer in a day, and that one bad customer just messes up your whole day.
Yeah, people guessing, double guessing, and shit.
But it's just reality, and then it's true. So this is why, in the ancient world, you wouldn't. If you go Japan, when you go to Japan, right, the Japanese people are funny people. People don't want to even be. Some people will kill themselves for being labeled a thief. They don't even want to be labeled. They don't want to. Japan as itself has a very low crime rate because people do not want to be stigmatized with being a criminal. I know that sounds crazy to you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians because you don't give a fuck about being labeled a criminal in any way, shape, or form.
Drug abuser at night.
You want to be a criminal. You got whole genres dedicated to that, but in Japan they don't. So, and the reason for that is because if your son goes out there and is a thief, guess what? He's dishonored the whole family, because other families are going to be looking at your family like, hold on, your son's a thief. What have you done to raise your son to make him into a thief? You know what? Maybe I don't want your other son marrying my daughter. Or your daughter goes out and being a slut and a whore. Well, you know what? It might just be her, but guess what? Maybe I don't want all your other daughters marrying my daughter, because I don't know what's going on over there. But whatever's going on over there, we don't want it coming over here.
Because reputation is important.
Reputation,
you know.
So which is why when you go out there and you act, you would understand that whatever you're doing is also going to reflect on your family. It's going to reflect on your people. People that even look at you, it's going to reflect on them. But Jake don't give a fuck.
It's going to reflect future generations, man. It could negatively affect future generations.
It does.
You know?
These Jakes, do you remember when they went up in Selfridges?
Yeah.
In London, in Selfridges, is where you get like, it's proper bougie. You get all the crackers and all these people rolling up in there, and they're buying all the, it's a fucking luxury department store. These niggas ran up in there and were chinging man down, having knife fights. Now, when other people see that, don't you know the first thing they think of is, these niggas are a fucking problem. So then when I'm walking on the street and these people are treating me a certain way, or they don't like the fact I'm on the train with them, I can't even get upset and angry because we're all over social media telling people we're the biggest beast on the planet Earth. So that's going to reflect on me. So we need to be getting on these guys. But anyway, let's keep it going. Let me read this. You got something real quick? Can I start reading? What you got there?
That was enjoying my fire.
Let me read this, man. So that's actually leading into what we're talking about. And you have to accept that your actions affect everyone else. But we don't have that concept no more. Right, so this is going into an article. It's called Household, Family and Household in Ancient Israel. It says the idea of family in ancient Israel was more expansive concept than our modern idea. Family existed on 3 basic levels. First, there was the bayat, or bayit, they're saying it, but it's bayat, or the household. This was similar to our nuclear family of parents with probably 2 or 4 children, as well as multiple generations, but it also might include debt servants, slaves, concubines, resident aliens, sojourners, day laborers, and orphans. So what is basically telling you is that in the ancient world, the concept of your family would include your grandmother, your grandfather if they were alive, your uncles and all them, and then within the household, even your slaves will be part of that structure. That was a family, like a business. Think of it like a business.
Because these slaves also represent you, you know?
Yep.
Yep.
They do. Right? It says second, there was the mishpachah, which loosely referred to a clan. So a clan would be groups of families would come together as a clan, and they would usually intermarry. They would be very intermarried with each other, very close knit. They were close in proximity. That's your clan. Yeah, your banners. Even in Game of Thrones, you had your banners in it.
Yeah,
your banner men. Right? And then you'll have noble families among them. In fact, we could get a little concept of that in Numbers 1, right? It show you the whole thing about the head of families and all that. So you get these families, and then you get their heads, and then it'll go up in order, right? We understand this. Straight away, we don't have that today. Straight away, we have no concept of that today. There is no concept of really of an organized wider family. And there's no concept of a clan, a group of families who are all related together, that understand that this is my clan and I represent my clan. Yeah?
And that might be like, you know, you're a man, you got brothers, you got his own family over there, uncles and whatever, you're all close together.
Very white, yeah.
You know?
So the term was used occasionally of large social units, even in the entire nation of Israel. Most typically, it is used in reference to residential kinship groups consisting of several households. So like a village. In the ancient world, you would have a village, and in some places of the world it still seems like. And these families are in a very big way interrelated. But they all know each other, right? And they live very close together, and that's like a clan. Alright? It says, third, there was the Matah, or the tribe, which consisted of many clans. So all these clans, so you got Benjamin now, you got all these different clans of Benjamin, close-knit groups of families, and these close-knit groups of families now come together as one to make a tribe. Yeah? So you had a obligation towards your family, you had an obligation towards your clan, you also had an obligation to your tribe. These are things that you would have in your mind, like this: I'm part of a family group, I'm part of a clan, I'm also part of a tribe, right? What else are you part of? A nation, because obviously all the tribes come together to form a nation. Now the average Israelite today has none of those concepts in their mind. They are an individual, and they might be part of a gang, or they might rep a city, which that doesn't mean anything because they don't really feel no.
Well, they're not officially.
It's just it's just something they say. But
yeah.
how does that? They'll still go out and do stupidness and not think about how it affects the city or how it would make the city look bad. They don't think about none of those things. It says there was polygamy among the wealthiest households, right? So if you had a lot of money, because a family is also a business as much as it is social. It's a social business.
Well, generally, the bigger the family, the stronger the family is. You know, bringing in more, helping out more.
So, if you got to think about adding a wife, getting an extra wife. Like, as a man today, you think about having multiple women solely based upon having sex. So you have a lust. So a lot of men today, their thing is, I want to conquer as many women as possible. So all their energy and their mindset is based upon chasing punani and banging as many women as possible, which, you know, we get that because there's a natural base instinct to have sex. We understand this. But in the ancient world, your mindset wasn't just based upon that initial seeking of pleasure and I'm having this woman. Men, they didn't have that. There was no Friday night where you went out and had one night stands. That wasn't really how people lived. Most people, you had a wife, one wife, and the purpose of that wife was to procreate and to build up your family business. Now, if you did well, yeah, because remember, children are short-term liabilities, long-term assets. Yeah, if you did well and you had wealth and you had money and resources, you can use another wife to extend your family, which is almost really expanding your business. You think of it as a business faction. So when you have a business and you want to expand, say you want to expand your business to another property, usually you have to be in a settled and financed, and then you say, you know, I got enough money and resources that I can get another building and set up over there. But think of a wife like that. A wife is like setting up and expanding yourself. And when you think of it like that, you think that means you need to get certain things in order before you do that. Which is why in the ancient world, it was wealthy men that had multiple wives, kings and noblemen who had the resources to have that big household and that family and that order set up. It wasn't guys working in McDonald's.
Well, I say the poor, you take another wife, just another mouth to feed, and you can't afford it.
You might fall yourself into problems.
Exactly. You know, you
just like in the business.
You can't have lots of children because you can't afford it.
What happens in the business if you expand too quickly? You become a cropper, right? So it's like, even that mindset has changed. And then so you get a guy now in the modern time working in McDonald's and he's got 5 baby mamas. You know, like, bro, it doesn't work. That's why your whole family unit, not the only reason, but that's a big part of the reason why your family unit is not gonna work. Now, there may be a way you could work if all your women could get jobs, but it ain't even set up for that. All you have is a bunch of baby mamas, man. And you know how that go already. Like, them youths is suffering. But anyway, right? So there was,
you're broke.
And you broke as hell. There was polygamy. It means you ain't even got no money to invest, to do anything.
Yep.
There was polygamy among the wealthiest households and in the royal households of the later eras, but it's not clear how extensive polygamy may have been practiced beyond these contexts. The household was a central place of nurture, education, and discipline. That said, it would be erroneous to read our modern notions of family into the household. Now listen to this. Ancient Israel was an agrarian society that required extensive cooperation for economic survival. So what does that mean? We were a society that was mainly based upon producing from the land. And in order to produce from the land, you would need the cooperation. Say like you were in a family group. Your entire family would be involved in that production. But guess what? You would also help other families. Like when it was time for harvest, certain harvests need to be done within a certain amount of time. So you'd have other families, they'd help each other with the harvest. That's because it's in everyone's interest that everybody has the best harvest that they can. Do you understand? Right? It says social cooperation among families in the clan was necessary for building and maintaining terraces to conserve the soil and reduce water runoff, for sharing a common water source, wells or streams, for construction systems that retains water for the rainy seasons, for establishing and supporting the boundaries of fields, for harvesting of crops, for judicial settlements, and for common defense. So you would have warriors among you, warriors among the family, warriors among the clans. You would work together to defend each other and what you're doing, not extort, set up a gang and then start extorting and selling drugs. You'd have men that were there set up for the purpose of growing what you're doing, the production. It says here, and all of this is governed in the law. A network of mutual care was necessary for households to survive crop failures, and food shortages caused by drought, blight, and disease. So do you see how when the scripture says love your neighbor as yourself, how beneficial it is to have that mutual care, because it actually helps you to live together, because that's how people live. You don't live by yourself, you live together with the help of others, and by helping each other everything grows and becomes stronger. And that's what the law is designed to do, to allow us to work together.
I say you're stronger as a community than by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're about yourself, when shit happens to you, you wouldn't know other ways of defending yourself or
Exactly.
dealing with that situation. But when you've got the community to lean upon, they can help. The same way you're expected to help when someone else is in, got problems. You know, because you serve the greater good, as they say, right?
Now, check this out. It says this network of care extended beyond individuals to tribes and to the sons of Israel, whose marginal poor included Levites, widows, the fatherless children, resident aliens, debt servants, slaves, and sojourners. Okay? So it extended the Israelite, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's keep it moving. In an agrarian society, land was essential to survival. So what is one of the main laws in the Bible govern? In fact, can we get the law on when where the land was divided among the tribes? What did the Lord do? See, no, it wasn't all by accident. The Lord gave us a law, then what did he give us? A land. So let's get that. So that's all important. And what's he gonna give us again? When Yahushua comes, he's gonna give us land again. And when we get that land, it's gonna be divided again. And when we divide that land, how are we gonna live? In that same love thy neighbor as thyself, that same mutual care, that network of care on love, which is governed by the law. Bonded together by not only our physical bonds as Israelites, but also our spiritual bonds as being lovers of the Most High, as being lovers of his Son. You see? Spiritual and physical bonds. You got that? I think it's in Judges. You can get
The number.
Numbers as well. There's one in Numbers, and there's one when Joshua divided the land as well.
For Joshua.
Either one would do. Anyone would do, to be honest. Just an example.
This is the book of Joshua 19 and I'll start at 50. According to the word of Yahweh, they gave him the seat which he asked, even Timnah Selah in Mount Ephraim, and built the seat and dwelt therein. These are the,
Hmm?
let me go to Numbers.
Okay.
This is the book of Number 26 and 55. Notwithstanding, the land shall be divided by lot according to the names of the tribes of their fathers, they shall inherit it.
Right, and then it's Numbers 18 as well with Joshua. Have you got that one?
Numbers 18, yeah.
Because that's when the land was actually divided. Joshua 18 and 10. Right? So when we went into the land, the Lord divided us the land. But what did he give us with that? He gave us laws to govern the ownership of that land. He gave us laws that determined that your family would never lose that land. That even if you had to sell that land because you fell into debt, that you would receive that land again in the year of release. Righteous laws. Because the foundation of any man or any people is going to be that land ownership. Something that people don't realize in this kingdom, because in this kingdom we don't own anything. We don't have our own land. We don't have our own inheritances. That was taken away from us because we despise the law of the Lord. But that's very important. That's one of the root reasons why we're in the condition we're in today, because we don't have our own autonomy on our own land and have the ability to produce for ourselves. Whereas it was always meant to be, we were able to produce for ourselves and have power over these other nations. And then so our family and everything is designed about getting what we need for each other. Producing what we need for each other. And living life. enjoying the fruits of our labors. Now we live this weirdo lifestyle where you're just basically a cog in Esau's machine,
Out for yourself.
and you're just out for yourself. Really, you're out there to fill up your bank account. We don't live in these units that are connected together.
This is Joshua 18:10. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord, and there Joshua divided the land unto the children of Israel according to their divisions.
Right, so all the tribes got their land, and then even among the tribes, the different families got their land, and they assorted themselves in the different clans. Some people would be closer together, and then that's how you get your different cities and your different villages and so forth. And you build from there, with that understanding and with that law and with that bond. All right. It says here, right, in an agrarian society, land was essential to survival. Furthermore, the promise that God gave to Abraham and his descendants was inextricably tied up with each Israelite family having a share in the land as God's stewards. 2 or 3 consecutive years of drought, crop failures, or other calamities could easily force someone to forfeit their land in exchange for goods to survive. Thus, we find considerable attention to the protection of land ownership. Well, who set that up? The Most High. Righteous laws, most notably in Leviticus 25, but in other passages as well. But as the household was not just the land, a household estate would include fields, orchards, vineyards, pastures, livestock, and the tools and implements for living and working. Now, when we started going against that law, we started breaking that agreement that everyone would have their own land. So we can go back to Jeremiah 5, and it tells you about that, where guys were just coming in and they would want to buy up everything and they want to own everything for themselves, and then everyone else has nothing. What does that lead to? Oppression.
Yep.
Which is basically how this society is run, like how Egypt was run, where Pharaoh and the priesthood own everything, and then Esau saying you will own nothing and be happy.
All right, mate. Yeah, it's Jeremiah 5 and verse 4, right? It says, therefore I said, surely these are poor, they are foolish, for they know not the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their God. I will get me unto the great men, I will speak unto them, for they have known the way of the Lord, and the judgment of their power. But these have altogether broken the yoke and burst the bonds.
Right. Instead of establishing the law that the Most High set forth, they started giving into their own lust and their own way, and started doing things, wickedness. And it's going to tell you the type of wickedness they were doing. Go on.
Verse 6 says, wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Every one that goeth out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased. How shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me, and sworn by them that they are no gods. And sworn by them that are no gods.
So they started worshipping idols, yep. and these gods of the other nations, which they're still doing to this day. Mm-hmm. Even though we tell them not to do it, they still want to do it. They want to. They still trying to worship gods from Egypt. I mean, damn. Wow. Goofy gods with elephant heads and that. Mad thing.
That's all been overrun by Arabs. Anyway, when I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery and assembled themselves.
Right, fed them to the full, because the worst thing about it is, and that goes into the Hosea, like when we kept the laws, we flourished. When we kept the laws and we loved each other and we did exactly what the Lord said to do, we flourished, man. It tells you during the time of Solomon that silver was in Jerusalem like stone. Everything was running, everything was beautiful, man. Everything was going good. economy's up. You could put it in the way that economy was up. They talk about America being the greatest middle class. That's a lie. We had the greatest middle class. Jake was doing good. Even if he was poor as a Jake, he was doing good because you would have been taken care of. There was a welfare system. There weren't this nasty underbelly. It wouldn't be a nasty underbelly like how they have in this system, like how they have now, where people are living on the streets and
strung up on drugs
and all that. Our poor would still had their houses and they just weren't banging like everyone else, but they could go and get food. They can get everything that they needed.
Yep.
And they could get a helping hand to get themselves back on their feet. There was a way for them to get back on their feet. They can put themselves in slavery for 7 years and come out. Can we get that law?
Substance.
Let's get that law.
The
So you could be down bad. You can make a few mistakes.
Hey, so in that case, slavery was beneficial to
Oh,
put
no.
yourself
Slavery's
under
bad.
a master.
Slavery is wicked.
But you people out here, man, slavery ain't nothing really than what you're doing right now. When you go to work for somebody else, right? The difference between that type of slavery and what Esau did, that's a whole different type of slavery. You know, that's hardcore bondage.
Chattel slavery.
You know, but to put yourself under another master who is gonna give you a job, give you food, give you, you know, substance, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And what was the end goal? So you can
Get on your own
automatically you
feet.
could come back out of that, and because of the year of release and all that, you can have a clean start.
Yep.
You still got your family, so then you all just start. You could take the same skills you were doing. Think about this. You could put yourself in slavery to a man, and the same skills you learn working, because anytime you work for a man, you're gonna learn skills, because you got to work. So whether it is that you were being a shepherd for him, or whatever you were doing for him, in that 7 years, that's an apprenticeship. You can almost look at that like an apprenticeship, because you would normally be putting yourself into slavery to a guy that knows what he's doing. If a man's in a position to be on like that, that's probably like a nobleman. And if you're a noble, you know what you're doing. You're a good steward. Your shit's working tight. You got a good business going on. So imagine you're getting an inside view to how to run a business properly. Because while you're there, you're taking part in the running of it, and you're learning. Okay, so this is how. So this is how you're meant to be building the barn for your. Okay, this is how you're meant to be doing this, and so while you're working, you're learning.
Contacts, links.
Contact, because you're still going to be friends with man. So then we're going to read the law on it. Once you left, he would be obligated to give you liberally. You're going to go back to your land and your family with things that you need to do what? To not be dependent on, but to produce. And now you're a stronger member of that network, because it's all about building your brother up. It wasn't about breaking him down. The law is not about breaking anyone down. It's about people being built up.
Yep. For the benefit of all.
The law isn't oppression, but some people don't seem to understand that.
Because one day that very guy that was under that master
He
might
might
be
get down bad.
Well, no, but he might be, because he might become great too, and someone else comes to him for help.
Someone else comes to him and does the same thing.
You know what I mean? So it works. It works in a circle of need, you know, and it's all covered for.
That's right. That's love, man. Put your brother in slavery. But not like how these Mexicans be human trafficking.
That's what.
That's not the type of slavery that this is talking about. You know, them guys just go pick up a Mexican from a farm and send him to America, have him work him in a sweatshop cutting up cocaine, and work him until he can't work no more, and then chop his damn head off, or kidnap man's daughter and put her in a brothel. That's not what it's talking about, okay?
You got it wrong. You got it all wrong.
You know what I mean? You find a pit full of heads in the desert and that. You got that up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 15 and the 12.
Okay.
And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th.
Right, so the reason to be sold onto you, because you might be down bad. So you could even sell your son onto okay, you're gonna go over there and you're gonna work for this man, and he'll get like a down payment for you right there and then, which helps the family. Like, would you want to do that? If your family is down bad, you're like, okay, cool, sell me to this man if it could help my family. Nowadays, no man, you know, I don't want to do that, man. Fuck the family, because niggas is all about themselves. Back then, there was this, even the women thought, you got to marry this man for the family. I'm gonna do it for the family. Nah, man, and then you people get all emotional. Oh my God, like, she didn't have a choice, bro. Them women back then were doing it. They were doing it, man, because they weren't raised with this rebellious, demonic mindset that people are raised with now.
Well, they're living better lives than you are today. Let's put it that way.
They were like,
They were
"Look,
looked
man,
after, man.
What do I have to do for my family?" That's the mentality you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes you got to do something or make a sacrifice for your family's sake. Like back in the day, you might not get much choice of what your profession is going to be because your father already said this is what you're going to do.
Family business, isn't it?
This is a family business and you got to join it. Oh man, no. You know, you got to, what about your own goals?
I've heard stories like this, man, or some guys I speak to, man, like, you know, their dads, they own this company, this business, man, and their children don't want nothing to do with it. Like, what do you mean?
That's how you...
So what, you will allow that company to either break down or be sold to some random person when it was your dad's baby, you know? So
Hey,
speak.
back in the
To grow
day,
up.
you respected your parents' wishes, man. You respected the legacy that you come from, just like they respected their parents' wishes. But what was Esau like? Esau didn't respect his parents' wishes because he was a demon.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of you Jakes are the same way today because you have a mindset of selfishness, man.
Yep.
You have a selfish, like my man, you're like my man from what is it called? Game of Thrones. What that pussy old's name is?
What Joffrey?
You know the one with the red wedding?
Oh,
Which Stark was that, man? What was his name? That little pussy old. Rod, was that Ron? Rob Stark.
Rob, yeah.
Rob, it's Rob, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sure it was Rob, the older
Yeah,
brother,
yeah,
the
might
king
have
of
been
the king in the north. Why did he get put to death? Because for the name of his family, he agreed to marry the Greys, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The Grey's daughter. That was on his word, on his family's word. I'm gonna marry your daughter. We're gonna have this allegiance. What did my man do? He went because he was lusting after some other woman. He decided to break that and go marry another woman. No honor. Because he was in that moment. Who was he thinking about? Himself. And then so he got all of his man them killed, and that was his fault. Yeah.
Because this thing is much about duty as anything else, man.
I'm glad
got a
you used
duty.
that word. A duty. You have a duty towards
Your family,
your
innit?
family, towards your nation, man. What's up? What's wrong with these people, man?
That's how nations are upheld, you know?
Sacrifice.
When you got a nation of individuals, man, how can your nation
Can't.
grow and thrive and be strong?
People
The
sacrifice.
kingdom divided against itself cannot stand.
Cannot stand. You have to have some kind of organization going on here. Have to have some kind of respect or some kind of greater good. What if everybody wanted to be a fireman? How would that work?
Yeah.
You just got a nation of firemen. No one can do nothing else. Fucking madness, man.
That's why there's always levels of people, man. You need laborers, yeah? You need them, the sciencey guys that don't know how the contraptions
Well,
work. And
when you go into the scriptures, some families became specialists at different things. That's in the book of Chronicles. I'll see if I can find that.
yeah,
And how did they become specialists at it? Because
generations
are
of
working at it, man.
Yeah.
Man, it's
Passed on,
daddy, fuck
passed
you.
on in this, yeah.
Fuck you, man. I don't want to be a carpenter.
How things are meant to develop, man. You don't want to carry it on, you know?
Yeah,
Because
man.
your dad teach you, and his dad teaching before him, and now it's down to you. He passed on all the knowledge that he got.
He's like, fuck you,
all
Dad.
the knowledge that he got. And now,
you, man.
now it's your turn. You're meant to develop that even further.
I want to be
You know?
a porn star.
New technique. I want to be an MMA fighter.
I want to be a rapper.
You know? But this is how skills are developed as well, man. Yeah. This is how skills are developed, man. You know, and you become greater on earth, you know, greater inventions, man. That's supposed to be beneficial to your nation. You know? Man, I got the contraption, you can make the wood faster, you can turn the wood faster, and all these types of things here. You know, stronger woods, stronger
wanna do
techniques.
ballet.
Do ballet. You know?
Yeah,
it's all
go
to
on.
benefit the nation. Go on up.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus 30 and verse 3. He that teaches his son grievous the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he has left one behind him that is like himself.
Right, the same. And what's the foundation? The law. His respect for the law,
Yeah.
the respect for the family, the respect for the nation, the duty, the love of the Most High. These are the things he's supposed to instill in your son. And then he carries on that legacy. Now, just an example here, in the book of Chronicles, 1 Chronicles 4 and 14, it says, and Meonothai begat Ophrah, and Sariah begat Joab, the father of the valley of Charashim, for they were craftsmen. So you had this whole family group
Craftsmen.
that they were specialized in being craftsmen, which is important. You need craftsmen. You need people that do different things. And they did that as a family. That was like the family business. This is what these people were known for. Just like you might have another area that they're known for their linen work and things like that. And then all these things add together to provide for everyone.
Like how the hell do you build up reputation over generations? You know what I'm saying? It takes a family and you know, legacy to continue it going, man.
Oh, I got another one.
Then that family name becomes well known among people. Yeah, I'm gonna go to this person for that because they make the best iron or whatever they do. You know?
I got another one.
Mhm.
This it says the sons of Shelah, the son of Judah, were the father of Lekah, and Ladah, the father of Merashah, and the families of the house of them, the families of the house of them. So these were, like we said, like a clan. Yeah, that did what? That wrought fine linen of the house of Ashbel. So you had a whole clan that specialized in making fine linen. And that's what they did. And they were happy to do what they got to do. Now, if they made a movie about that, the movie will be this one motherfucker that wants to do something else. Oh, no, I don't want to do fine linen.
I want to travel the world.
You know, I want to be a porn star, Dad. I want to be a footballer, man. Shut up, man, and make the damn linen, man. Little whiny ass. But that's what Esau does. If you look at Esau's movies, it's all about basically fostering rebellion and being selfish. Running off and doing some man. I want to be a Hollywood star. You know how many people run away to Hollywood to be an actor and then just fuck their life up on drugs?
Yeah.
Because they're selling the people these dreams. Oh, and their parents told them, look, man, look, don't do that. No, I want to be an actor. Fuckers.
And now your life's a mess.
Now you're a mess. Come running back. This is First Chronicles, another one. First Chronicles 4.
That's lucky, man. That's like us as a people, though, right? In general, right? We left the Lord, right? And that's why we're liking unto the prodigal son.
Yeah.
Because we went and did all what we wanted to do, find out, you know, the grass weren't greener or some shit, just fucked up, and then had to come running back.
Have to come running back, man.
You know? But the Lord, it pleased the Lord to have us back. Because that's what we're meant to be doing. We're meant to be serving the Lord.
Mm.
You know? Yep.
It says, and Joachim and the men of Chozebah and Joash and Saraph, who had the dominion in Moab, and Jeshubelahim, and these are ancient things. These were the potters, and those that dwelt among plants and hedges. There they dwelt with the king for his work. So he had this group of people that was there that were just doing pottery and things like that. All right. So yeah, it's just different examples, man, of life. That's how life's supposed to be. Different families working together to do different things, but it all comes together for the benefit of everyone, and everyone's growing and doing what they got to do. We still got that law on the slavery. So the law on slavery in the Bible amongst us is there for our benefit, man.
Yeah, to protect us.
A lot of men right now could do with that.
Yeah. I say it protects us, man. If we
Protects
feel
us.
bad, fall down bad, it's something to protect us, man. We ain't gonna end up on the street, strung up on drugs, like we mentioned, you know?
And you mentioned the
sleeping under a
the
bridge.
law of release also for debt.
Mm.
So you wouldn't be a perpetual debt slave.
Unlike now,
Yeah.
until you can pay it off or die. You know?
But right now they got multi-generation mortgages that they want to do as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Which why you got a mortgage? Anyway.
Because you don't own land, right? You don't own land to build on. It's not your house. You're paying this mortgage, this debt.
So then who's really making the money is these big real estate companies that come in and build these, like all over London, they come in and build these blocks, and then they build them, they look good on the outside, but they're really cheaply made.
Yep.
And then they're coming in and charging you $2,000 a month for like a 2-bedroom, and they're making all that pay.
Yep. All that red and all that, It's a shit deal.
Deuteronomy
Not looking
15
good, bruv.
and 12 again. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man, or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty.
Thou shalt not let him.
You're not allowed to let man go
You
empty.
shall not let him go away empty. Do you understand the? Do you understand the deep fundamental principle we're talking about here? So this man that come to work for you, yes, the labor that he's bringing is to your benefit. So you have to pay for this man, right? But then that labor that he's bringing to you is worth something. But then even then, the law has it where you're not supposed to let that man leave without something in his hand, because when he leaves without something in his hand, he's leaving at a deficit almost,
Disadvantage.
and he's at disadvantage.
Because he's still dependent.
So that's why when Esau, let's talk about Esau now, because when you look at the so-called emancipation of Jake, whether you're talking about Jamaica, whether you're talking about Brazil, right? The one thing in common that happened among all the slaves, right, was that they were never compensated. So imagine you have a situation like, for instance, in Brazil. If you go to Brazil today, pretty much along the lines, give or take a few immigrants that have come in, the children of the conquistadors, the children of the conquerors, they're the ones that own most of the big corporations, or partly own most of the big corporations. They own most of the good land, right? They're the ones that are in the upper classes, and because they're the owners of society. The children of the slaves live in the favela homes.
Yep.
Yeah, they're living in the favela.
Struggling.
Yeah, struggling. Why? Because imagine you got a group of people that are your labor and they're working on your plantations, right? And that's how the economy is set up around working these plantations and all these different things. If you just say to them one day, okay, you're all free. Free to do what? They don't really have a system of how to be any other way than what they're doing right now. So what would happen would be they would still have to come back on the plantation to work, but now they're just getting paid.
Not enough.
And they ain't getting paid enough to do their own thing, so they just keep working on the plantation, keep working on the plantation, keep working on, and to this day. The same thing with Jake. Jake, that's why they didn't give Jake the 40 acres and the mule. They left Jake with nothing. And if you ain't got nothing, you're still dependent on another structure.
Yep. Can't become self-sufficient.
You're not self-sufficient. So you're still a slave. Same thing in Jamaica. They compensated the slave owners, but they never compensated the slaves. But these guys are meant to be Christians. You're supposed to compensate your slaves so that they can go out and do it for themselves.
Yep.
Now, there's a movie.
What's that saying? Give a man a fish and give a man a net, innit?
Yeah.
You know, all them men is giving you a fish. Not allowing
They
you
didn't
to
even give
build
you the fish, man. You got to
the
come back and
bones.
buy the fish, man. They just said you could go now. You got to come back and buy the fish. What are you talking about? The man didn't give man a fish. They didn't even give man a fish, man. Fuck a net. They didn't even give man a fish. They just said, yo, you're out of here. You got to come back and buy the fish. You ain't even got money, so now you got to borrow the money to buy the fish. You're in debt already. Oh, you could work it off. Sharecropping and all that shit. Now, there's a movie called, it's with The Rock. It's called Jungle Run. It's The Rock and Stifler. I don't know what the dude's real name is. You know Stifler from fucking American Pie.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the film, they go down to Brazil or one of them, you know, generic South American country. Okay, could be Brazil, could be wherever. It's all the fucking same anyway.
That's weird, you know?
Yeah, doesn't matter where it is. But anyway, in the film, he's like, the white boy is like a fucking explorer, and he's exploring for lost artifacts and all that shit, right? And The Rock gets sent down there to track him down because his dad's got money and his dad wants him to come back home and do the family business, which is crime, yeah? Right? So anyway, when he goes down there, they're hanging around a gold mine, and they show you that you got all these Jakes working in this gold mine for Christopher Walken, old school G, top actor. Christopher Walken owns this gold mine, and he's got Jake down in these gold mines, fucking dirty and sweating, and they're coming up, right? And they got this gold, and they got handing this gold, and the price is going down. He's just paying them what he wants to pay them. So he's giving them barely anything for the gold, and obviously, you know, he's taking that gold and making the profit and shipping it out, right? So in the whole film, it's all about Christopher Walken stopping the other white dude from finding this precious artifact. So in the end, long story short, the guy goes to him, well, why do we even give a fuck whether they find this stupid artifact? Like, why do we care? We got the gold mine. He said, listen, these people only work in our gold mine because they don't have another choice. What else are they gonna do? They have to work in my gold mine because they're fucking poor. They have to accept the little pay that I gave them, because if they don't accept that pay, they got nothing else. That's called breaking you down to a situation where you're dependent and you have to eat shit. When you got your own, you don't eat shit. You can't make someone eat shit that's got their own, because they'll be like, fuck you. I could do.
I got my own shit going
So
on.
now to get them to work for you, you gotta really give them something real. Otherwise they're like, look man, I'm gonna go do my own thing.
Yep.
That's why Jake is always out here begging for jobs, because you need that fucking job. You need it. Without that job, you're gonna be on welfare. You can't do your own unless it's some crime, and then Esau's on your ass anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So that in that little clip in that film, that explained the whole situation. Esau purposefully keeps Jake poor because it makes Jake dependent on him for production, and Esau controls the production. He controls the businesses, the industries, the lands. So you gotta go to him in the want of all things. But the way the Lord set it up isn't supposed to be like that. You're supposed to have your own. So when you go into slavery, it's built into the law, the righteous law, that you release this man from slavery to be able to do for himself. You give him something so that he could kick it, he could get the ball rolling. Right? Let's carry on reading. This is what we're reading here. So all you men are disrespecting the law, man. You could go suck lemons, man. You can go suck knives. That's what you can do. You can go play in traffic. Because we're done with this. We want this. Yeah?
Yep.
Because I could do with some of that.
A better way for our people, man.
You niggas was in slavery for over 400 years. He still didn't give you shit.
You still ain't got shit.
You ain't got shit now. Go on, man.
Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock.
Liberally. So you weren't supposed to give him no little thing. You was furnishing, give him enough sheep, enough this, whatever, so he could go home with something. He's going home with gold. He's going home with silver. He's going home with sheep back to his family, and they can use that them resources as an investment in themselves.
It's like a business starter pack, man.
Starter pack, yeah, camp starter pack.
And out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress.
Hey, the brother said the movie's called The Rundown. Yeah, that's exactly the film. Go on up.
And out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith the Lord thy power has blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him.
That's for his vineyards and
So you see the underlying principle there is that your brother didn't go into slavery for you to oppress him.
Yep.
He worked for you, and you got your benefit, and you got your profit the Lord blessed you with, and now you're gonna give him back some of that so that he could build himself up.
That's called mutual benefits, man.
Mutually beneficial.
You know, in this world, it don't work that way.
Nah, Jake.
We're not mutually compensated for our labor here.
Yeah.
Esau get all the big fat profits, man. That's why people are mad right now, because the cost of living going way up, and their profits are going way up, but your money's going down.
Yeah, but the elders talk about the oil tables.
Yeah.
Jake will do that to you.
Yeah.
Jake was doing it to him. Yeah? It ain't nothing
Or
for Jake.
deceitful weights and balances, you know, trying to get edge off you, over you, man.
Yeah.
All the time, man.
So you that banger. Go on, man.
Then shall and thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt,
Right.
and the Lord thy power redeemed thee.
Yep.
Therefore I command thee these things today.
Because our position in life is not to be a slave. We're not slaves, you know. And we're not really meant to be treated like how the Egyptians treat us, man. So we're meant to do good unto our brothers, man. So you know, yeah, he down bad, you're gonna help him out. That's only what it is.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put yourself underneath this man, work for him, you know, earn your living, so to speak, right? And when it's all said and done, you're gonna go out and you're gonna go out better than when you went in.
Exactly that.
You know?
Which is a net positive for everyone, man.
Yep.
It's a net positive for everyone. And that's what we're talking about, man. So that's why you gotta read that law, and not just read it as pencil and paper. Read it with real understanding of what is the connotation here. What is this telling you, man? Love your neighbor, man, as yourself.
Yep.
Glory in your neighbor too. He glory in you. You working together here. We making it happen. Love your brother. Is that what Yahweh Shai said? Don't be holding grudges. Don't be holding animosity. It doesn't help anyone. Is it, you got more on that?
It's just the same law in Leviticus.
Okay. So where was we? Right, so it says, thus we find considerable attention given to the protection of land ownership, most notably in Leviticus 25, but in other passages as well.
So the holding.
But a whole household would not just the land. A household estate would include fields, orchards, vineyards, pastures, livestock, and the tools and implements for living and working. Ancient Israel was a patrilocal society. Adult sons lived with their father. When they married, usually within the clan, yeah, because you usually would marry between people that were within a certain geographical area. Like,
Yep.
it's going to be rare for you to be marrying someone that's all the way across the country, because you wouldn't really be interacting
like
as
that.
much with people that far.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like
Didn't have the tube stations and then.
But when you did, you were supposed to treat them like they were local, and that's why we even can we get a law on the stranger? One law for the homeborn, and one law for the for him. That's all. That it's in Exodus 12, but it's in more than Exodus 12 as well.
in Leviticus
And there's
18 as well.
plenty of laws to do with the stranger. Now the stranger represents an Israelite that wasn't familiar, and it would be easy for that, because the minute you moved outside of your clan, people would have probably never even seen you before. Because it ain't like today where you travel far distances very easily. You know what I'm saying? Or you might live in London and work in Birmingham.
Yeah,
It wasn't like that. Like, you would usually be working within a very small area.
geographical area.
So the people that know you and know you very well would be within that very small. So if you went outside that area, technically maybe no one might even know who the hell you are. Right? They just know you're Israelite because of the way you dress, and you introduce yourself and tell them who you are. Now, one of the big problems with Jake is Jake have a problem with people they don't know. Jake have a big problem with people they don't know. Right? And it's almost like, where's it an example? Let me see the half tribe. We spoke about it last week, didn't we? Let's see if we can get that. When the half tribe of Manasseh. Half tribe. Let's see if we can
Do
get
you want
that.
this one from Exodus 12?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Alright, it's, Exodus chapter 12, verse 47 says, all the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all these males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it.
Now that stranger in this particular scripture is just talking about Israelite that's not local. They don't have no inheritance where you are. So if you're in the land of Benjamin, it could literally just being another Benjamite from another clan group, from another clan that was way over there. So maybe they happened to be, the Passover was near and they had to be traveling through, and they're around where you are. That would be like a stranger. It ain't talking about a member from another nation. In some places where it mentions stranger, it can be applied to other nations, but in this particular thing with the Passover, it's talking about a stranger, meaning it's in an Israelite that's from another area. Yeah? You ain't from around these parts. Go on.
It says, and then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land.
Ye shall one that is born in the land.
Treat them equally in that respect.
Mm.
Right? It says, for no uncircumcision person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
So what does that tell you? That means that this law that the Lord established was supposed to be universally applied.
All
So
Israelites.
you weren't allowed to oppress the stranger. And Jake will do that. You come round and they're gonna charge you more for the same thing because they know you don't know no better. Oh, this man's a stranger. Or they might rob you. They might use the diverse weights because you ain't from around here, so get the diverse weights out. No. You're supposed to treat that stranger as if he's one of your own,
Yeah, that's it.
where you are. That's how you're supposed to be. And that's built into our law. And that goes into, again, love thy neighbor as thyself. Because guess what? You would want to be treated that way when you go over there. Right? And we had an instance when that disrespect happened with that Levite. Now, why did they treat that Levite and his concubine like that? Because he was a stranger. I'm in know you. So they thought they could deal with man anyhow.
They ain't got to respect him.
They ain't got to respect him. No, that's wickedness. You're supposed to show respect to every man according to the law. Don't matter if you don't know where he's from or how far he's come from. No matter how far he came from.
As soon as man tells you that I'm such and such of the tribe of this and that,
We got to deal with him proper. And even really when you're dealing with the other nations, you still got to have some, because if you establish treating people wickedly just because they're not from where you're from, then guess what? You can expect the same treatment when you go there. But especially when you're talking about the Israelites, and it's built into our law that way. Now tell me that's wrong. Tell me that's not the proper way to live. Because how many Jakes, because that law isn't established today and that understanding, how many wars and problems happen because of that? Mans go around the area, the first thing they say is, oh, you ain't from around here, fam. Where you from, fam?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're going down your pockets.
Yeah, who do you know around here and all this?
What's going on here? But I'm like you. We
you're
the same people, and I can't come true where you are without you robbing me, because you perceive I'm a stranger. It's not supposed to be like that, man. All right,
It's together, man.
we're meant to be together. It's true.
It is.
We
shouldn't have to
the
walk
law
around and
protect.
fear our brothers, man.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way.
You're supposed to be able to go anywhere among our people and get treated with the same dignity and respect.
You should feel safe among your own. But you don't.
You're supposed to feel welcome.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah? Well, nah.
You go into when you go into the Caribbean stores, man, you don't feel welcome.
Yeah. What you want?
Yeah.
You know? Hey, even to this day, when people invite me certain places, and I'm a big man, and I hear certain names of places, I'm just thinking, man, like, how close is it to the station?
Can I get out?
Yeah, like
Can I get
how
out?
deep in the ends is it? Is it in the bougie part?
Yeah,
Like, man's invite you to Brixton. You gotta ask, man, like, yo, like,
where
I don't really
that's-
know Brixton like that, because I don't really grew up there. So, how close is where we're going to where people actually live? Because I'll go to Brixton if it's like, you're around the station area and it's all crackers and that, but I don't want to go to the roads. I don't want to go to the hill.
The estates and the
Yeah,
blocks
I don't want to go to the estates and the blocks or anywhere near where them niggas are, because them man find out you're from East London,
over.
and next thing you know, them man are robbing you for your phone and all this business because you ain't from round here. That's how niggas are. It's just the reality, man. I don't like niggas. Niggas ain't right. Now, this is an example here, Joshua 22 and verse 1. Then Joshua called the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, and said unto them, you have kept all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I commanded you. You have not left your brethren these many days unto this day, but have kept the charge of the commandment of the Lord your God. Because the Reubenites, the tribe of Gad, and the half of the tribe of Manasseh, they took land on the other side of the Jordan for inheritance, because that land was good for cattle, because that particular tribe, they ran with the cattle, man. They were dealing with shepherdry more than anything else. So when they saw that they had, because different lands are good for different things. The land that they said, right, this land's good to hold that beef. So they said, we'll take this. But then they were like, so then that means you ain't gonna come across the river with us and fight? They said, no, we'll leave our young ones and we'll leave a contingent here, but all the warriors will come over with you and we'll fight with you so you could get your land. Again, another example of that mutual respect and care and love. So Joshua is saying to them, look, you've done it now. So now you can go back to your lands, right? It says, and now the Lord your God hath given rest unto your brethren as he promised. Therefore now return ye and get you unto your tents and unto the land of your possession, which Moses the servant of God gave you on the other side Jordan. But take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law, which Moses the servant of the Lord charged you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave unto him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. The reason why Joshua's saying that is because they're kind of now going to be on the other side. So there could be that division, and then next thing you know, a different thing I want. Yeah? Now to the one half of the tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given possession in Bashan, but the other half thereof gave Joshua among the brethren on this side of Jordan westward. So the tribe of Manasseh's inheritance was split across that Jordan. So one were on the other side with all the other tribes, and the other one was on this side. Other half was on this side with Gad and Reuben. If you can understand the geography. And when Joshua sent them away also unto their tents, then he blessed them. And he spake unto them, saying, return with much riches unto your tents, and with very much cattle and silver, and with gold, and with brass, and with iron, and very much raiment, right?
Starter packs.
Divide the spoils of your enemies with your brethren. So yeah, listen, man, everybody's gonna get a piece.
Everyone's gonna eat.
Everyone's gonna be getting goodness, man. Again, not selfishness. Oh, one couple family take it all for themselves. Nah,
Yeah,
spread it
spread
out, man. Let everybody get some of that love. It's in their best interest. He says, and when they came onto the borders of Jordan, that are in the land of Canaan, the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh built there an altar by Jordan, a great altar to see to. And the children of Israel heard say, behold, the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh have built an altar over against the land of Canaan in the borders of Jordan at the passage of the children of Israel. And when the children of Israel heard of it, the whole congregation of the children of Israel gathered themselves together at Shiloh to go up to war against them. And the children of Israel sent unto the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and to the half tribe of Manasseh into the land of Gilead, Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, and with him 10 princes of each chief house, a prince throughout all the tribes of Israel. Each one was an head of the house of their fathers among the thousands of Israel. And they came unto the children of Reuben and to the children of Gad and to the half tribe of Manasseh unto the land of Gilead, and they with them, saying, thus saith the whole congregation of the Lord, the church, what trespass is this that ye have committed against the God of Israel, to turn away this day from following the Lord, in that ye have builded you an altar, that ye might rebel this day against the Lord? Is the iniquity of Peor too little for us, from which we are not cleansed unto this day, although there was a plague in the congregation of the Lord? But that ye must turn away this day from the following the Lord, and it seeing ye rebel against today against the Lord, that tomorrow he'll be wroth with the whole congregation of Israel. So they're like, look, man, if we let these men do this, the Lord will turn around and punish everybody.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing? Because they thought they were building an altar unto idols. Notwithstanding, if the land of your possession be unclean, then pass ye over unto the land of the possession of the Lord, wherein the Lord's tabernacle dwelleth, and take possession among us. Right? So they were trying to resolve the thing. You know, like you niggas today, like you don't try and resolve nothing. You just act wild. Yeah? They went out there to a council to get to a solution.
Yeah, an amicable one, right?
In building you an altar beside the altar of the Lord our God, did not Achan the son of Zerah commit a trespass in the accursed thing, and wrath fell upon the whole congregation of Israel? Another example, how what you do can not just affect you, but affect everyone else.
Yep.
And that man perished not alone in his iniquity. Then the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh answered and said unto the heads of the thousands of Israel, the Lord God of Yahweh, the God of gods, the Lord God of gods, he knoweth that Israel he shall know. If it be in rebellion or in transgression against the Lord, save us not this day, that we have built us an altar to turn from following the Lord, or if to offer thereon burnt offering or meat offering, or if to offer peace offering thereon, let the Lord himself require it. And if we have not rather done it for the fear of this thing, saying, in time to come your children might speak unto our children, saying, what have ye to do with the Lord God of Israel? For the Lord hath made Jordan a border between us and you, ye children of Reuben and the children of Gad. Ye have no part in the Lord, so shall your children make our children cease from fearing the Lord. Therefore we said, let us now prepare to build us an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice, but it may be a witness between us and you and our generations after us, that we might do service of the Lord before him with our burnt offering, and with our sacrifices, and with our peace offerings, that your children may not say to our children in time to come, ye have no part in the Lord. Therefore said we that it shall be, when they should say to us or to our generation in time to come, that we may say again, behold, the pattern of the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made, not for burnt offerings nor for sacrifices, but is a witness between us and you. God forbid that we should rebel against the Lord, turn this day from following the Lord, to build an altar for burnt offerings, for meat offerings, and for sacrifices, beside the altar of the Lord our God, that is before his tabernacle. So basically what it turned out was they were basically building an altar so that they could remember that they were all brothers, and that they should allow them to come in and partake in the ways of the Lord, so judgment wouldn't come forth. All right, this righteous thing. And right now we need that. We need to remember that we are brothers, man. You got Benjamins killing themselves wholesale, Judah's killing themselves wholesale like they're at war. Issachar's killing wholesale. And we were supposed to be brothers, man. That's why this truth is bringing us back into that knowledge that, look, we're brothers. We shouldn't be killing ourselves wholesale. We should be loving each other as the Lord had commanded in righteousness, and return back to the Lord and fulfill that cause. Love worketh what? No ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the commandments. You see? Yeah, go on.
This is the book of Romans 12 and 10. I'm starting from 9. Let love be without dissimulation. About that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kind with affection one to another, with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another.
So what's wrong with that? But these guys say, oh, you Hebrew Israelites, you're hateful, you're crazy. No, we're not. No, we're not hateful and crazy. It's love. But we must rebuke our people against the things that they're doing. That's part of the duty. We have to rebuke our people, cry aloud and spare not. You know what I'm saying? But we're not filled with hate. We hate the evil, but we're not filled with hate. We're not murderous. We don't desire to be murderous or desire to be steal or to covet what our brother has. You got something?
Yeah. So Zechariah chapter 8 verse 16. So these are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. And love no false oath. For all these things that I hate. So these are all things that I hate, saith the Lord.
So the Lord, it wasn't a new thing. Like they make it look like the New Testament, like something. The New Testament wasn't. The Lord was constantly telling our people to love each other, to love their neighbor. That's all. That unction has never, like, there was no change. The Lord has been constantly from the very beginning. When He gave us the law, it was a call for us to love each other, to love Him and love our brother and establish His law. Execute judgment and mercy. You see? Have we still got Jeremiah 5?
Yes, we
Okay. Yeah. What did Jake do? Nah, fuck that. We want to, you know? We want to go off. We want to do wickedness. And they're still on that same tip to this day. It's crazy.
Another one. So 1 John chapter 3 verse 10 says, in this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother.
He that loveth not his brother, man. And you might say, oh, you love your brother, but then you're popping his wife. And that ain't talking about just your friends. That's another thing with Jake. They want to be righteous when it's your friendship group. What do we say about strangers? You see, Jake will pop another man's woman, right? Just because he's not within it. No, I wouldn't pop my friend's woman. But if they don't know you, and that's even Ben's going, I don't know your man. What the fuck has that got to do with anything? So because you don't know him, you're gonna pop his wife. But then when someone that don't know him pops his wife, he got a problem with it. Is it okay or is it not okay? Jake got this idea that you're only supposed to love, and that's why Yahweh Shai says, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. If you only love those that love you, then
and that is the true understanding of that scripture.
That is a true understanding of that scripture. People don't understand that when it speaks about love your enemies. Even if it's a Jake that's on the other side, you're supposed to still uphold a level of respect in terms of law towards that man. You're not supposed to see man and rob him. Because it's easy to be all, yeah, we're together, like we're cool. And then you get into the club and there's another group of Jake on the other side, you don't know them. Yeah, we're gonna rob them. I wouldn't rob you because you're my friend, but I'll rob them. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to operate.
What does that say about your character?
Your character's shitty, man.
You know?
You're a shit person. Right? And then when that is reciprocated, what you end up is what we got right now. All this chaos and madness going on.
Feuds and, yeah.
Feuds and man's getting chinged down all over the place. Why? Because Jake don't understand that you're supposed to apply. When it says hate your brother, it ain't just talking about people in your family. It wasn't just talking about people in your clan. It was extended to the entire nation.
Yep.
Whether you knew them or not.
Strangers, wherever it is.
Now, naturally, you're going to be more closer to someone that's more familiar to you. But there's certain, when it comes to the law applies to everyone. That means you don't fuck this man's wife. It don't matter if you don't know him. It does not matter.
Because you ain't got no feelings for the guy, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I ain't close with him.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, man. Snatching man's chains up. It's ridiculous business.
Say where you meant to feel bad when you see your brother, you know, down bad or something happened to him, man. You meant to have feelings or some, you know, some kind of emotion to what's happening, man. Because he's your brother. No, man, not meant to be colder by it. So I don't know this dude anyway.
Yeah, fuck them niggas.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They meant to be.
But that's
like
how Jake is, man. And I hate Jake for that. And I know Jake. I'm not kind of the, you know, Jake are like that, man. That's why you can't always trust Jake when they're a friend of a friend. That's some of the worst things. You know how many man get robbed by a friend of a friend? That's why you can't trust Jake. You come around with Jake, right? And yeah, you know him, he's cool. And them niggas are all thinking, man, but fuck this nigga. We know you, but we don't know him.
He's fair game.
And he's fair game, and so you don't even feel safe. You're like, look, man, this guy vouched for me, but these niggas here, they don't even care about that.
Predators.
They don't know me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake is a head case, man.
Wanna grab this?
Scorpions.
Yeah.
Thou dwellest among scorpions.
That's right. That's right. This is from 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. It says, "He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of the Most High perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him, ought himself also to walk, even as he walks." Right?
Sinless, man. That's why they couldn't accuse Yahushua of anything. Not just against his disciples, against anyone. They couldn't accuse him of nothing. Because he kept the law. He kept the law in regards to everyone. He never transgressed against no one. They couldn't do nothing. Even people that didn't like him, he didn't transgress the law against them. Oh man, like for instance, what happened with this is the slap. That's the fake ass slap, which everyone's forgotten about
Rock
now.
and Will.
Chris Rock.
Will
When
Smith.
you said the Rock, I was thinking about the other nigga, the other Rock, right? Remember the guy from ICPK say, "Oh, you should go fuck his wife."
Yeah, off. Wicked as hell. Where's that?
The scripture said, "Render not evil for evil." What are you doing? What are you
man?
doing, man? How can you say something like that? Do you know that's that gang shit?
Yeah, man talking from his own heart, man. You know, it's his own wicked thoughts, man.
How
That's what he would do.
There's judgments in the scriptures, and you just throwing all the judgments
just
out the
know
window
that, yeah.
and just say, look, make the judgment be whatever you want to do.
Yep.
That's as bad as Jake where go, oh, man said something to me, I see his mom and I'm gonna fuck his mom up or something. You know, or man see your sister
No limits, like.
and yeah, like you just do anything. You
Yeah.
feel like, yeah.
You know, like these Mexican cartels.
Oh,
do
man.
anything, man. You know,
Jake are wild out here, man.
ain't meant to be like that.
And these dudes are meant to be Israelites. What are these guys thinking? What kind of
Yeah,
chaos
the
is this?
leaders and whatever.
Go on now. Oh, you got something? Yeah, bring it out.
It's the book of Romans 13 and I'll start from 8. Owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another has fulfilled the law. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is brief, comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, man. Jake don't do that. That's why in London, you got all these postcode wars, because they're all robbing and trying to kill each other for this, that, and the other, for covetousness' sake, for the flesh. And so it's like a never-ending war zone that man are caught up in. And it's not just London. Anywhere Jake is, it's a never-ending law zone. This guy's getting robbed. This guy's getting robbed. They're robbing this guy. This retaliation, that retaliation. This kidnapping, that kidnapping. This chinging. Wetting man's up all over the place. Disgusting. Why? Because they don't have the principles, the fundamental principles which is in the scriptures of knowing who they are and what to do and how to treat each other, how to be governed. They're just wild beasts, basically. They're dogs on the loose.
As goes on, says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfillment, it's a fulfilling of the law.
Love it. Now the goofy Christian would take that and say, see, the commandments is just love. No, you goofy. What it's letting you know is when you keep the commandments, you're showing love. When that's you're showing real love. Love is an action. And part of the action of love is keeping the commandments.
You out here just throwing out empty words, man.
Oh, love.
Love, right? What mean? Give everybody a hug.
Well,
is that what it means?
Now
It's
doing
what I'm
another
saying.
man in the backside is
Yeah,
love.
is that love?
Now. It's not love, man.
No, it's a specific thing in the scriptures. You know, love is keeping the commandments. That's what it says.
Even the Bible it mentioned it. It mentioned all of them, like you don't commit adultery and stuff.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, like stealing. Like, hey, listen, man. You know how many bikes? Anyway, listen, man. Jake. Listen, man. Jake be thieving, man. I remember one time. This is how bad Jake is, man, and it's actually on video. It's actually on video. Beanie Man visited Brixton. Now you can imagine a big Jamaican artist like Beanie Man visiting Brixton. It's like it might as well be, you know what I mean? It's a superstar
Yeah.
coming to Brixton, yeah. So man must have come to Brixton and went to like one of them it's actually on YouTube. He went to one of them barber shops that owned by one of them foundational rasses, yeah. So imagine big man like Beanie Man is in Brixton. Everyone's out giving man props and all this business, yeah. What happens? While he's in the crowd with all the people, some black hand comes out of nowhere, yeah. And I think it was his watch. It was his watch. I think it was his watch. Some black hand and bust off the watch, yeah, tried to run off with it. I was like, what was he even thinking? And then he got chased down, and obviously them man wanted justice, so because they were like, what the fuck, man? Man's come, so they've come and chased him down, and they beat him up, and then the rats had to come in the middle of it and protect him because they were gonna do him in proper, right? He was one of them local dickheads. But this is my point. The man came, a superstar from among your people came to visit, and still tried to stand in public in front of everyone, tries to snatch his watch. You know what I'm saying, man? Jake, man, like, what's going on? It's actually on YouTube, man. It's funny as hell, man. How he thought he was gonna get away with that, I have no idea. Jake a deviant, man. Covetousness, like. Oh my goodness. Yeah, go on.
Finish here. Back in John, 1 John chapter 2, verse 7, right? Brethren, Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you. So this ain't nothing new. It's the same commandments, man. The commandments we was meant to be upholding from the beginning, that we've fed away from, and now having to get, be brought back to them. And it's something we're trying to actively, do, right? Because we was in the world once, we had a narrow mind of how things worked. But now we see the greatness and the beauty of the Most High's law, and how we're meant to conduct ourselves between one another, man. Okay, for the greater of our people. Jake don't understand. Jake everyone's covered with selfishness.
Or Jake could be like, love, fam, love. Hey, Jake, you don't know how to love, man. You don't know how to love.
Fake love. That Drake track, man. Fake love. Right? So there no new commandment. So which ye had. Sorry, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning. Again, a new commandment write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shineth. He that saith he is in the light and hateth his brother is in darkness even till now. All right, so yeah, you say a lot of things about love this and love that, but Black Lives Matter, but you're in darkness, man. You don't really uphold none of those things. You don't. You're in that selfish state of mind, man. You're in darkness. You don't have true love or true understanding of how to love. You know? It says, he that loveth his brother abideth in the light. You know, making sure, you know, he's staying right. You know?
And you ain't gotta hide and sneak around. You know? And there's something to be said for that. There's something to be said when your works can be truly in the light. You know? There's something pure about that. We're not used to that because we're used to all these leaders and they say things and behind closed doors they're doing something else or they're saying something else. Or niggas is scheming. You know niggas love to scheme. Niggas be scheming. Bitches be scheming and niggas be scheming. All the time. All the time. You don't even know. You think man's cool. Listen, half of the man that get robbed up, it's a pure setup. It's a pure setup. It's like their own man that they know set them up. Scheming. And why they gotta hide and do it? Because they know it's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, when your work is in the light, you ain't gotta hide it. I remember one time a guy said, stand by your work, man.
Yep.
Man, do things and then run and hide. Yeah, because you know you're in the wrong. If you was in the right, you won't be running nowhere.
It's shameful. You're ashamed.
Fucking bitch ass niggas, man, doing all this wickedness, man. Nah, it's something to be said to be living in a world where everything you do, you can stand on it. Listen, okay, I did that. Yeah, because you know what you did was right. So you can stand on it.
You be bold on it.
You can't run like a damn, the wicked run, no one pursues, man. You niggas evil.
It says, but he that hateth his brother is in darkness and walketh in darkness. Oh, Salakia, skip the verse. It's, verse 10. He that loveth his brother abideth in the light, and there is none occasion of stumbling in him.
There's none because the sin is a stumbling block. It's a stumbling block to life. It's a stumbling block onto yourself. It's a stumbling block for the people around you. It's horrible, man. And that's basically how we've learned to live amongst each other. Just everything's getting in the way. Just foolishness. Come outside your house, your car's gone. It's up on all fours, isn't it?
Your wheel's gone.
The catalytic converter's gone. Or you come back from a day out or whatever, a man's broken in, took your TV, took everything.
Yep.
Man stole your phone. Now you know it's still foolishness, man. Man, that's a big thing. Man, popped your wife. You know. What does that mess up? Messes up. It can destroy whole families. It could just.
Yep.
Murder. Murder's hella disruptive. Murder is hella fucking. The amount of pain. Remember when murder happens, you're talking about so many people being affected by that. So many people, you know, being traumatized, man. The children, everyone involved. It's just long, man. It's long. And you think this is something that someone's purposely caused.
Yep. Anxious about the person, isn't it? It's the greater ramifications.
It's all hella ramifications, man. The ripple effect is disgusting. That's why it's meant to be nipped in the bud and kept to a complete minimum.
Yep. Verse 11 says, but he that hateth his brother is in darkness and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
That's right, because you don't understand that these sins that you're committing, you're ultimately shitting where you eat. You're ultimately destroying yourself. You're destroying yourself, you're destroying your brother, you're destroying everything around you. And you're on a whole self-destructive tip and you don't even know it. And all you gotta do is look at the ghetto. Look where Jake lives. Everyone is complicit in destroying their own environment. You are destroying your own environment with your actions. And you don't even know it. You try to blame this and blame that, oh, it's the white man, or no, you are also part of the reason why. You're really the big part of the reason why it's so scary to live in your neighborhood. Why do people, everyone I know that lives Stonebridge Park area, Church Road areas, man, they hate living in them areas. And it's not because of the white man. Because you niggas are constantly popping off guns on each other. It's not the white man. The white man's not coming down Church Road. And I'm just using Church Road as an example. There's plenty of places we could use as an example for that. But that man, they're not worried about, you know what I'm saying? They're not, when people are going home and shit's getting edgy, it's not because the white man's running around busting off straps. It's these niggas busting off straps on themselves. Chinging man down on the street. You're walking down the street with your daughter and man's are getting chopped up. Ain't Esau doing that, it's Jake. To themselves. Over a line or whatever, some bullshit. Something someone said on social media or something. I don't know. Some bullshit, man.
Oh, it's the book of Proverbs 1 and say from 10. It says,
Yeah, I gotta make this phone call. Can I borrow your phone?
This is Proverbs 1 and verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lack bravery for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and all are those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one pass. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path, for their feet learn to evil, and make haste to shed blood.
Alright, so we're not meant to be like that. That's not the way we're meant to be conducting ourselves, man. Because there's a large portion of our people that are predators among our people, man. That seek to exploit us and do evil wickedness towards us, man. And we ain't meant to be like them, even though they look like they're living that fast life, right? They look like they're getting all the goodies, they're getting the cars and the girls and whatever, because they're doing this wickedness. Because really they're exploiting their own people, right? They're doing evil and violence against their own people. And this is the point of the video, man. Like, as much as we get on Esau about all these wickedness he's done to our people, what about what our own people are doing to us, man? They're doing worse a lot of the time. Esau does institutional, most it's just institutional, man. But Jake actually they're going around killing their own people a lot more than Esau is, in terms of physical confrontations, preying upon the poor, the weak. Okay, we're not meant to participate in that, man. That's something that's beneath us. That should be beneath us, man. We're not meant to conduct ourselves in that way. So the Lord is saying, look, don't follow that.
We're plagued by that. We're literally plagued. We're plagued by that behavior, and it's sickening, and it's well documented. All you got to do is go on YouTube, type the word ganging, and you're just gonna see, like, whether it's Jamaica, London, Birmingham, in the UK, same thing happens but some places are bigger, so they got more of it going on. So London, it happens a lot more because they got a lot more inner city areas. But in Birmingham, it happens the same way. But they got less areas. And in Manchester, it happens the same. They got Moss Side.
Yeah.
Right? You got Leeds is the same thing. Nottingham. And what are niggas known for? Popping off the sticky. Yeah? Chinging each other up and competing about it too, as to who can do that the most. And then these young men get brought into these situations, and they promise them money. They buy them in with money. We've seen, there's videos where guys can show you how they recruit the young ones in. They bring them in and they start giving them money, buying them chicken and chicks, say, oh, if you join the gang, you could get yourself money, you can get yourself this, and they start off as runners,
or they put them into debt.
They rob them and put them into debt and all that stuff. Yeah, and it's a whole sick scheme that's going on,
predatory, man.
Very predatory. And what does that produce? Victims, a bunch of niggas in jail, fatherless homes, traumatized fucking people and children. So it's all a net negative. Increased drug use. The whole thing is a big massive negative. Big massive negative. And it's being pushed. It's even got music genres to push it. It's just getting pushed and pushed. And Jake, after all these years, hasn't decided, you know what, man, this thing ain't worth it.
Yeah, enough.
The amount of niggas that's in jail and all this stuff after all these years of gang culture, and niggas ain't figured out that, you know what, maybe we need to just do something else. Doing nothing will be better than doing this.
Well, as I was saying, man, they get caught up on that fast life. Yeah, you get instant gratification kind of because you get the cars, you get the money going on. It don't last
The
long.
prestige,
The reputation.
the reputation.
But it don't last long. You end up in jail
And,
or dead. You know? What was the point?
Yeah, you got really none of them build any legacy. And even if you're building legacy for yourself, you do it by tearing down the people around you,
Yeah.
which is the opposite of what the law is all about. The law is about you rising, but everyone else around you rising as well. This culture is about basically you temporarily rising while destroying everyone around you, and then you going down as well.
But even these great crime families like the mafias and stuff, that didn't work like that. You know, they weren't bringing down their surroundings because they needed them to make money.
Yeah.
You know.
Some of them.
Well, yeah.
A lot of them were extortionists as well, and that's why they didn't last.
But like Jacob is demolition experts, man.
Yeah, Jacob took it to a whole different level, because they have no one. They do it. They are the biggest parasite. The violence level. It's just it goes too far. The difference between these new little street gangs that they got all over the world with Jake and them old mafia types. The old mafia understood that when you have a certain level of violence, that it's just gonna destroy everything.
Unproductive.
It's just mad. They take a little bit here, a little bit there, and then they'll make it work. These, man.
What's the point laying the shopkeeper, laying all the family down?
Yeah.
But they were paying you protection money. You know what I'm saying? They were taking money off you. You're destroying your own business, destroying on your own doorstep, essentially.
Jake wild, man.
They're not clued up, bro.
Jake wild. But their Lord's gonna put them down. But the scripture says, seek ye the old paths.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're learning about different things and a different way of being. And we desire to be landowners. We desire to
Righteous rulers and
not just desiring the end goal of it. A lot of guys are desiring money. They don't care how they get it. We desire providing for ourselves and for our people. And so we desire stuff like farming. Oh man, I like the idea of farming, man. I want to do some farming. Let's do that. I don't mind that. Give me some land. The Lord can give me some land. And we're going to put some man out in the field and we're going to grow some corn. No, Jay don't want to do that. It's not, Jay don't want to watch the corn grow. Jay want the prestige. That comes with toxicity. Because they don't know no different. They don't want to be productive in a real sense. They want the fast money, which is destructive.
Yeah.
Which isn't the way of the scriptures. The way of the scriptures is real life, productive life,
real foundation,
real foundational stuff, man. You know, farming and husbandry and the linen and all that stuff, and making it work together, man.
Family business, family growing, skills, developing skills.
Real shit, man.
Real shit. You got something there?
Yes, for their feet plan to evil and make haste to shed blood. Sure, in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lack bravery for their own lives.
Right, because ultimately you do all this evil and it's going to come back to you anyway. It's going to come right back around.
That's why it never ends well.
And yeah, it never ends well, man. It's going to be destructive. So why not do good and let good come back to you?
Yep.
Why do evil and have evil come back to you? Why not do good? And it's as simple as that. And the fact that people can't understand the simplicity of it shows you they're retarded and they lack understanding. That's why the scripture says you're in darkness, my man. Because you actually sitting there thinking that you could do all this evil and it's going to turn out well for you. It makes no sense. You might as well take gasoline, pour it on yourself and light it up. That's how dumb and stupid it is. It's retarded. The way of the sinner is retardation. You're slow of mind. Can you not understand that is not going to work? It hasn't worked in 6,000 years. You understand this? The experiment of wickedness and sin has been going on for 6,000 years and it has never worked unto this very day. There is not one society that has sustained itself off sin.
You know,
It doesn't happen.
you know what just came to mind just now? You know, because you build anything on the foundation of wickedness, like I say, it don't end well. Wickedness is gonna come back around and fuck up your shit, right? And this is why when you come in the truth, man, you become as a newborn baby. You have to start that foundation again. You're building up again from a better foundation, from a more righteous foundation, right? And what comes with that? Length of days, right? Blessings from the Heavenly Father. yeah, we gotta work for the Heavenly Father, and this side we gotta, you know, endure all the sufferings and that come also. But the foundation is great, right? It's strong, because where is gonna lead us? It's gonna lead us into the kingdom. You know,
And what we're gonna do in the kingdom? We're gonna live. In the kingdom, the simplicity of life is great. It's beautiful. We're gonna live in the kingdom.
Yep.
See, they think this grandiose, like, because we live in this social media era, they want everything to be grandiose and it has to be. People can't accept the simple things of life can be the most beautiful things.
That's right.
You know, like a good harvest. You know how fucking good that is. Jake could never understand it, because they can only understand having the keys and hoes twerking. Their idea of anything good is just weird life. They can't understand how good it is to just have your brother at your side and to be safe and play some dominoes.
A united house.
And have a united house. And man's go to his yard. I just brought in a heart and we're gonna harvest this corn. And we got the people and the whole corn's coming in by the bundles, man. Man, that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, man. When I went to my Uncle Sugar's farm. He wasn't my uncle, but
Yeah.
I called him Uncle Sugar. and he had all these corn, man, and he picked corn, boop, 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 and he gave us corn, and we took fresh corn home with us, man. You know how beautiful that is? Man gave you some fresh corn, and you go and then roast up that corn and eat it, man. It's the beautiful, it's the simplicity of life. Just having your woman, having your children, watching them grow, them learning and growing up. And on top of that, we're gonna be rich. But it's the simplicity of it all.
All this superficial lifestyle these people living, man, ain't really bringing them happiness.
It's empty, man.
Yeah, that's why they're so fucking messed up.
I got this scripture right here, Deuteronomy 30, right, and 19. It says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, right? Life being, you live the way I told you to live, to be obedient. The death being not living that way. It's that simple. It's literally, there is no gray area. If you do what I say to do or you don't. And if you don't, death, right? The blessing. And then when you read the blessings, it's so fucking simple. The blessings is like 5 verses. When you culminate when we keep the law.
Oh, hold on.
Huh?
Why
It died.
Why is your phone?
Oh no, it's still running.
Okay, cool.
It's just not. It's live.
Oh, isn't okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I got it. I got you, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When you go back, let's get Deuteronomy the 28th chapter real quick. The simplicity, and that's why you can't deal with these simple-minded niggas, because their mind has been so destroyed by hip-hop culture that their idea of living life is just having a fast car, some nasty hoes around them that don't rate them. That's, you know, some nasty tattooed up,
Superficial.
diseased, superficial, stupid hoes. It's all empty and superficial around you, and you can show off on other niggas like, look at me, I'm stunting on you.
Until you can't.
It's like, no, like, that's not. Life is a very
More than
simple
that.
thing, and yes, the Lord will bless you with abundance, man. But it's the simple things within that abundance. Let's read it. It's how simple it is that life is supposed to be. Even when you go and you read Psalms 1:44, what is it talking about? Your cattle being in abundance, your sheep being in abundance, your children being able to play in the streets, and it's the simple things, man. Your son growing up strong, you know, and settled. Your daughter being beautiful, getting married off.
Not worrying or fearing.
Not
anything.
worrying about fearing about death or getting robbed.
Child go missing or it's like nothing like that, man. They're beautiful things, man, but we can't experience it that in this world because
No,
it's
Jake
messed
want to
up.
live always having to look over your shoulder, and
Yeah. I like the smoke.
they learned the smoke till they blew the smoke. Anyway, going on.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandment.
All,
Not some.
not some, all of them. That's the key. That's the perfect algorithm. That's the perfect manifestation. We have to do them all, which is what we're going to do. That's why it's called the kingdom of heaven, and that's why we're gonna be so blessed in the kingdom of heaven, because we're gonna fulfill the full algorithm.
And that makes you immune to sin and evil.
Evil can't come nowhere near you,
Can't
man.
touch you, man.
Can't touch this. Not
do-
just getting to the niggas. See, niggas, as long as you get to the bag, everything's all right. Nah, forget the bag. Righteousness comes before the bag. Righteousness comes before the bag. The law is more important than money. Because you could get the bag. And because you ain't keeping these laws, that same bag that you got destroys you. And you know what the proof of that is? Like I said, look at it statistically. You go any of these ghettos, right? When these guys start getting money, you know what increases? Violence. And that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a statistical fact. And you can look it up. People think it's being poor that makes niggas violent. It doesn't. What makes niggas violent is when niggas get money. Because when niggas get money, right, they start fighting over that money. Not only do they start fighting over that money because they don't know how to love themselves, they also start arms races and buying bigger guns and more guns. They upgrade from the 9mm to the AK and the HK bomber, and the violence just goes on a mad level. It's a fact. Look it up. As soon as the niggas start getting too much money, man, you know there's gonna be big problems. Because all of a sudden niggas got the money to just do madness. There's all this jealousy in the streets.
Research.
Yeah, go on.
This is Matthew 6.
The love of money. No,
No,
I know they're not,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm thinking of that.
Matthew 6, verse 32. I could read up, but I was just get the point, right? It says, "For after all these things do the Gentiles seek." We all need things. We all want things, you know? But if you do right, guess what? The Most High gonna bless you with things. But if you do it the other way around, you know, you try and get, you know, these things of, you know, through wickedness, guess what? You're gonna lose those things. You ain't gonna
And they
keep
can
those
become
things.
as cursed against you, man.
That's right. Right, so for after all these things do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness.
That's right.
Be righteous first, you know.
Hey, the
Be
Lord,
good,
the
you
Lord
know.
gave us the law before we even got the land.
Yeah.
He didn't put us into the land first. He gave us the law first, so we knew what to do. He said, when you get over there, this is what you need to be doing.
Otherwise you won't be keeping it.
Otherwise, you're going to destroy yourself. All that,
Yeah.
as much as that land is flowing with milk and honey, it's going to destroy you. It's going to consume you. It's
Yeah.
going to spew you out.
And that's exactly what happened. It was
Yeah.
taken away.
They got all the money and everything, and then they turned away from the law, started abusing themselves, and then kaput.
Now we got a bunch of heathen in that land doing what the fuck they want to do with it.
And
When
they're
it's
gonna
at
get,
home.
and then they're gonna get crushed as well.
Yeah, crushed. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Right, so
That's the order of things.
The fundamentals. So then that what that's telling me is the true fundamentals of life is the spirit. The true, it's this word. It's,
Obey the Heavenly Father.
and how we treat each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then from then on, you can build everything on top of that.
Yep, it's the foundation.
It's the foundation.
There's an order to this thing. Obey the Heavenly Father, do his will, we do his commandments, and the Lord will look after you, man. He's gonna give you all that you desire. When Solomon went to the Lord, you know, he asked for wisdom to rule these people.
And then he still got the money
He still
and
got
all
everything. Because the Lord said, because you didn't ask to be rich and ask for that, hence I will give you this, and I will give you the riches and the women and whatever, you know.
And then you know how to use all those things in righteousness, therefore you make it profitable. But when you have all those things and you ain't using it in righteousness, you're abusing it, you end up abusing yourself and the people around you, and it all ends up destroying you. And Esau's going to be a big example of that.
Yep. So that's it. Yep.
Yeah, go back in Deuteronomy. Very simple. Life is supposed to be very simple. Doesn't have to be complicated. Doesn't have to be complicated at all. We've complicated it with wickedness.
Chasing things that Esau put in front of us, you know. And that's what he's doing. He's leading us astray. That's why he's got us chasing after shit, rather than chasing after the Heavenly Father, man, to keep things simple, you know.
BBLs and face jobs and so
Every
superficial.
man's worried about the Instagram, how many likes and dislikes his man's got, how many followers he got, you know. Or can I get more views if I got this car? You
Yeah,
know, all this
faking
shit,
it, being fake.
you know?
Being fake is more important than being real.
Yeah.
Being perceived a certain way is more important than actually being that way.
Yeah.
It's just madness, man. Go on,
Cults of personality.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 2. And all this blessing shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power.
Mm.
Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Right, you're gonna be blessed wherever you are. You're gonna receive the blessings of the Lord, whether you're in the city or in the field. Now, are we receiving that right now? No, but that's a good thing. We want to be blessed in the city. We want to be blessed in the field, man. You want to be safe, be peaceable, and have prosperity. There's nothing wrong with that, but it has to come and be founded on something. You want that?
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground.
That's right. A simple thing like your children coming out healthy. Now in this society, boy, your children are coming out with all kind of problems, man. All kind of problems, autisms and all kind of crazy shit, man.
Intolerances.
Eczmas and intolerances and allergicisms, coming out dead. A lot of miscarriages happening. Yeah, even with your animals coming out. No, it's a blessed thing to just reproduce, to be fertile, to reproduce, and have your children come out healthy and your family come out healthy. They ain't coming out blind and maimed and all these different things. It sounds like a very simple thing, but when I see some people with these autistic children, I'm like, man, that's fucking crazy, man.
And now you got to do that your whole life.
Your whole life, man.
You know, and it ain't fun. You know, I know people put on a brave face. You know, but you know, I love our children, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard.
But there's one guy I know that he's his child's older and autistic, and he finds it very difficult because the child is just, he's very, you know, attacking him and someone that is stressed out, man. Wants to leave.
That's how you feel at times, man. You know,
Yeah.
shit gets hard, man.
It is mad, man. But that's part of the blessing that we would receive. Your children would be blessed, your animals would be blessed. They'll be so fruitful, so your sheep would just keep, because farmers don't want, imagine you're a farmer and you got to deal with your the worst thing you got to deal with as a farmer, if you're a husbandman, is miscarriages and the animals dying young. Because it's like, you know what I mean? It makes a big difference. If you can have all your female sheep, get pregnant for that year, and they all have the right amount of babies, they're fruitful, and those babies all grow up, that's what you want.
You're multiplying.
Because you're multiplying your sheep. Now, if they keep having miscarriages, or they're not even getting pregnant, or the sheep is coming out deformed, you don't want that, man. You don't want, man. It's disruptive to what you got going on. So something just as simple as that.
And these types of things are taken for granted, you know, because they seem like such simple things, and they are. But are you even getting that in this world?
Nah,
you're not even getting it,
man.
You know, your eyes on something else, or my eyes on you know, getting whatever you want.
So when the famine comes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we look forward to that, and that goes, you know, our garners being fallen and our sheep gendering, man. That's what we look forward to in the kingdom, man, having all that, man, and we're gonna praise the Most High and be happy with that. It's very, very simplistic thing, but it brings joy. We go on.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground.
Oh, Slacker, before you carry on, man, in this street, man, when you're catching for hell, man, you appreciate these smaller things, man.
Yeah.
Because you start seeing that the impurities of life right now, how things are so corrupted. Yeah, the hell in it, man. It's like, wow, I just wish it was like a little bit this and a little bit that.
Worked, man. Yeah, what about these farmers that they grow up I imagine you just spend all that time trying to raise up a crop of corn, and then a bunch of blight or some disease just comes and wipes out your crop. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
Hey, my potatoes have been having blight on them. Like every time I try to grow potatoes, they get blight without fail. Right? Even it's common, man. It's stressful, man. You just want everything. Blessed shall be the fruit of that ground, man. You want your crops to be raised up. You want to multiply up and increase your store. And if we kept the laws, that would happen. We're working together. The Lord provide the sun and the rain and all that kind of stuff. Yep. And boom, you don't even you got all the food that you need together. Don't have to worry about food. You got it in abundance. You got more than you need. What more can you ask for?
That's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's like you notice all these smaller things that you take for granted, and I have how better life could be if all these things were working properly.
Yeah.
You know, all these little things, man. It ain't about all the fast cars and all the money in the world. It ain't really all about that, man. The simple thing is what keeps you grounded, keeps you content. You know. But like I said, it's overlooked, man.
Definitely over.
Go on up.
And the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be.
Right, the increase of the kind and the flocks of your ships. Like, you don't want them to be torn up by lions, and you want your crops to be increasing, getting more and more and more. That's a blessing that the Lord's going to provide. It would have provided. All we have to do is just treat each other right, keep the law, keep the land Sabbath and all these different things, and everything's blessed.
Man, I'm trying to be too greedy.
Yeah, we're not keeping the land Sabbath, not trusting that the Lord will provide. Go on.
Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Yeah, we're supposed to be born into a blessed situation, and if we do die, which we're not going to die in the kingdom, you die leaving a legacy that's blessed behind you. Nowadays, you die, your whole family's in fucking destruction, man. You pissed, man.
These man can't even afford the funeral at the end of it all. You know what I'm saying, man? They're like, oh, it's we can change together, like paying for a few £1,000 for a headstone.
Hey, nowadays it's bad. Like, you get born and you're born into some fucked up shit, poverty, and all this madness. And then by the time you're dead, you got 3 sons in jail, 2 of them dead, from all 5, 6 of your daughters are on their 5th marriage. Bro, they're not even married. They're like, you get me?
They were broken, all broken up.
They're
You know
all
what I mean?
fucked up. It's just like, oh man, this is bullshit.
But you know what? Is that you're born into poverty and shit, yeah? And when you die, you put everyone else in poverty.
Yeah.
After they tried so hard to build up, you put them in.
Or they're all
poverty,
fighting, or they're fighting over the inheritance, killing each other and shit. That happens, man.
Well.
It's mad, man.
Yeah, went through some of that, man.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. There's always problems when someone dies, man. Always problems, man. Yeah, man. Curses.
Curse, man.
Yeah,
Simple.
As goes on, so the Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and free before thee 7 ways.
Victory. righteous victory. You know? So that you don't fall to the hand of the oppressor. You know? Right now, Jake ain't getting no righteous victories. Jake is just killing each other. The only war that Jake's got going on is a war against himself. And it's a mad war.
Yep.
That's why South America and the Americas is the #1 murder region on the planet Earth. There's nowhere on earth where murder is happening on the degree of these cities all across South and Central and North America.
Correct.
From the Caribbean down all the way down to the tip of South America up to the North America, it's just murder central. Jake are just killing each other like in the most brutal fashions, man. Brutal. Like wholesale, just blood everywhere. People fleeing.
It's like Esau has set the shit up, man. They put it on auto run, blood. You know what I mean? Jake just taking care of the auto run, you know.
Bruh, they don't need no KKK. What they need the KKK for? You niggas are doing fine without them.
Yeah.
Esau sit back on Candyland.
That and on top of the abortions and stuff, you're doing just fine, man. Destroying one another.
Esau ain't got to have no hunting parties for you niggas. You niggas go out and hunt yourselves.
Yeah.
The up block. You go to the up block and shoot up the up block. Esau ain't got to shoot up no up blocks. Esau in the fucking gentleman's club sipping on fucking brandy on the rocks.
Yep.
He's cool. He's blessed. He's in his gated communities, and you niggas is out there kidnapping each other. It's the truth, man. You can run away from it all you like. Oh, the police are killing us, man. The police ain't doing shit. You wish that all the killing that was happening was just from the police.
Be less.
Hey, there's police usually are killing a bunch of niggas that you probably glad that they're not here no more. Cause them niggas will kill you. Wild niggas, man. A lot of them niggas get shot by the police. Ain't all them niggas just normal people, man. A lot of them niggas is criminals, man. That's why they got their asses getting shot anyway. And good fucking riddance, man. That's why I say, oh, you guys know, but it's true.
Terrorizing my community.
Terrorizing the community and they get shot in the head, and I'm supposed to be like, oh, I ain't fucking doing nothing for them niggas, man. Fuck off. Them niggas is better off in the spirit world, no doubt.
Yep.
Go on, right? Mark Duggan and them niggas, man. Fuck them niggas, man. Grimy ass nigga, like, you know, people feeling sorry for him. If you'd have met him if he was in your ends, you'd have robbed your ass. 100%. Go on.
The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in this. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou set thine hand unto.
Yeah, everything that you set your hand to do. So you're gonna have everything you need. Like for instance, man, that's running up the linen. The Lord is gonna bless you with the skills and everything that you need, and you're just gonna be able to flourish and make it work. And that's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. Everything we do, everything we're gonna do is gonna be towards the betterment of not only ourselves but also our brothers. And it's just gonna get ramped up to the highest degree, man. So we're all gonna be having all the good clothes, the good food, and everything that we enjoy, and just
in abundance,
abundance of it, and just rising together. And we're gonna appreciate it and appreciate our brother, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like giving each other gifts and all that stuff, and be fighting each other to give each other gifts, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, brother, man, it's alright, man, it's cool. Nah, man, hey, brother, take this. And you just giving it, people are giving so abundantly, it's almost like you don't even need your own shit.
But it's something we're gonna have so much. It's like there's nothing to give, innit? It's just
share it around, man.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And actually live happy, man.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about whether your children are actually yours and all this shit, man. Fuck is this all about, man? Unnecessary complications, man. Why? Nigga got to do a paternity test.
And shit,
What is going on here? Like, this is unnecessary, man.
The father of the child is. Or the fucking Jerry Springer song or some shit, you know what I mean?
Man.
Trying to find that.
Man pay you some peas, you got a double. Oh, we got to count it again. Niggas be giving up short.
Hiring private detectives and shit.
Yeah.
Trying to spy your woman.
Hey, bro, Jake, man. You know what I mean? Look, what the hell you look at sitting there trying to war against yourself, man? Got better. Listen, I'd rather be doing
who's
farming.
gonna win?
Man.
Who's winning?
No one.
Winning out of that, man.
I'd rather do some farming. I'm telling you that right now. Me, I'd rather do the farming, Bridget. The farming is where I'm at. Go on, I love the agriculture, man. I love the idea
vineyards.
Of that. I love it more than husbandry, to be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be the vineyards, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the various fruits, and then you can make different wines.
Fuck off his own grape.
Oh man, having your own orchard must be so blessed, man. And that's how these Edomites live, man. In certain areas, they just got their own orchard, producing wine, and they just living their life. Meanwhile, you niggas are killing each other over cocaine.
Trying to perfect the craft and trying to perfect the grape and how it tastes and.
Becoming a, what they call it, sommelier or whatever the hell it's called. Sommelier or what's the word, man? With them professional wine tasters.
We'll find out.
I was thinking sommelier or whatever, man. I don't fucking, might not be Somali, something like that. Go on,
Go on. And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee.
And that's what we're going back to. So the kingdom of heaven is actually going to be here on earth.
Oh, you're right.
It's Somalia.
Somalia,
yeah. The kingdom of heaven is actually going to be on earth, and look how simple those blessings are. Very simple. And we're going to have the love of our brethren, which is a beautiful thing. To be surrounded by love is beautiful, man. To be surrounded by a family that love each other and have respect for each other.
And enjoy the blessings together.
And enjoy these blessings together, baby.
Yeah.
What's better than that? What is better than that, man? That's the kingdom of heaven. Like, come on. We really got to sell this to you? But niggas want to be in one of them fucking hip-hop videos.
And you got Israelites still wanting to be that.
Yeah, they still want to be that, man.
They still want to be that.
Bro.
Hey, man. What's wrong with you, man?
Chill off that, man. Let's play it out now.
Yeah, man.
As goes on, so the Lord shall establish thee and all people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy power and walk on his way.
Right, so the Lord always desired for us a very simple thing. He didn't desire, what the Lord wanted from us wasn't no evil or crushing thing. He just wanted us to treat each other right. Mm-hmm. This is how mad or sick it is, man. This is like, look, you lot, yeah, do treat me right and treat yourselves right. Treat even Yahushua when he had the disciples. What did he say to them? You know the one where he says, don't be like the other kings of each other. Be servants unto each other. How does it go again? Basically, he was trying to tell them, like, even when you're over a brother, you're over them with care. So when we got kings and nobles and heads, they're not put in that position of authority to take advantage of you and to abuse you.
Yeah.
They're in that position of authority to maintain that which is good. And yeah, they're going to get some benefits, obviously. There's always going to be benefits and perks which come with honorable positions, no doubt. How could there not be a perk or a benefit to being the king?
Yeah.
But even the king has an obligation to serve his people. To what? Maintain the people and maintain the goodness and the productivity. Not just to oppress and take man's daughters and... No. The king gonna have a care, gonna have a love for his people like David did. Like Moses did. Have that love for his people, that he wants to see his people rise up and flourish. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. Is that, you got it?
No,
it's not in
sounds
Hebrew.
like it's something else.
I'll find it.
I think it's, and whosoever will be chief among you, let him be a servant.
Yeah, I think that's the one where he, part of the part where he's washing the feet as well. Because the Lord washed the feet of the disciples, man. And that's basically for you to understand that even if you're over someone, there is still an aspect where you're serving them in a way where you have a duty towards them to be good and to do what's good for not only yourselves and for everyone. So it's like if you're a father in a household, right? The household isn't just about you. It's about you and your entire household. So you're gonna want to manage it where your sons, your daughters, your wives, everyone is getting something out of it.
Yeah,
There's a mutual benefit, and you're maintaining that mutual benefit. You're rising the household up.
And that is what a leader of a household is supposed to do.
Yeah.
A man is not really meant to be about himself. He's about his family. He's about his house. You know, more so, you know, back then the nation, the tribe, and that kind of stuff. It's more than him. You know, a man goes to work not for himself, but to support and to provide, to benefit others,
to rule. And then he's supposed to be so blessed. Even the servants are like, yo, I need to stay a part of this, because this thing's banging. This thing that they got going on right here.
Well, that's how you get loyal servants, man.
The loyal servants, yeah.
They got it good where they are, man.
They're like, yo, this man
You got a
knows
master that
what's
treats us well. Because you're not meant to just, you know, harm your servants, you know.
well, like Abraham.
Exactly.
Abraham and them loyal servants,
Yep.
man. You know?
Because there's laws for servants and stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
you know, for actual heathens and stuff like that, how you're meant to treat them, you know. So
Be not a lion
yep,
in your house, man.
household, yep.
Mm.
You know, if you injure someone, you know, servant's eye or whatever, you're meant to let him go and all that kind of business, right? You know, so there's ways that, and if they're doing good, guess what? It's why you got loyal servants, man, because they're doing well underneath you, man.
Well, even your beasts.
Yeah.
Even your beasts, the scripture says you're supposed to have care for your beasts.
Yep.
You're supposed to have care for your animals. Now that's beneficial to you.
Yep.
It's mutually beneficial to take care of your oxen and to take care of your sheep. Did you know that if you stress your sheep out, it's bad meat?
Bad meat, yeah. And you know what? You get me from the stores, you could tell. When the thing ain't had a good life. You can tell.
Them hard foul flesh. Hey, when you get them wagyu, they be going too far, innit? But they be massaging the thing up. And the meat's different with them wagyu things, because they treat their animals good, man. You know, come on, let's be real. You ain't gotta be an asshole.
I say them servants of Abraham, man, they went out to fight for him, man. Put their lives on the line for their master, man. You know?
That's right.
So
That's right, man. So it's the same thing if you're a ruler of the city. Now in this society, it's all about oppression, man, and people are out for themselves and looting for what they can get. That's the way of Rome. The way of Rome is to be parasitic and selfish, man.
Especially towards the end of it.
Have you got that in Matthew? Let's read that in Matthew.
Especially towards the end of it, man, which is where we're at right now.
Yeah,
everyone's
everyone's
taking
pillaging.
shit. Yeah.
And they don't give a fuck about no one
Sinking
else.
ship. You know? Just get what you can.
Rats, man. They don't give a damn.
It's the book of Matthew 20 and the 25 from start. But Yahushua called them unto him and said, Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you, but whosoever will be great among you let him be your minister.
Now, that doesn't mean then like, okay, so if someone's over you in order, that he's not there to basically, you know, give certain orders or lay down. That's not what that's talking, because a guy will misconstrue that. Oh, okay, so because some guy said that in the kingdom, this is okay, because when we have slaves, we're gonna do what our slaves say or something, like, you know, we're gonna be servants too. That nah, that's not what it's, yeah, that dickhead, man, it's such an idiot.
I think
man.
you change your stances, didn't
That's
it?
not what it's talking about. That is not what it's talking about. It's what it's talking about is that you too have to understand that even if you're in a dominion and authority over someone, there is still a mutual duty that you have to the people that you're ruling over.
Yep.
So if you're in a camp and you're a camp leader, you've been put in that, you are in a position of authority. You can tell a brother, okay, brother, you're gonna hold signs, or brother, you're gonna do this, and then brother should respect your order. But at the same time, you have to also remember that you're ruling not towards your selfish exaltation or glorification, but helping that brother too. Your rulership is supposed to be edifying that brother. So in that way, you're doing a service, because you're providing a format and an organization that allow brothers to grow. So you'll see brothers in the camp through your authority, they should be growing. You understand? Instead of being oppressed and kept down and end up growing, that means you ain't doing a service to them. So it's the same thing when the apostles were put in them positions. They weren't put in them positions to just walk around and be like, okay, do this, do that, go fetch me some water. They were also doing what? Teaching, which is a form of service, because you're taking time to teach this person. You're taking time out to judge. There's a service that you're doing to them. You're not just taking. There is a give. Same like if you're a king.
Even the rebukes that you get, you know what I mean? It's for you.
Yeah.
For you to understand and grow from, you know? Because you have to be told, look, you're going off. It's wrong.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So if they have said nothing, now it's not a benefit to you now.
That's
you know?
right. Now, if you want to be a tyrant, then that's the nature of a tyrant, is they're just going to bark out a bunch of orders, and everything that they do ultimately will be to their own benefit, to their own exaltation. And then what happens? Everything starts dying and becoming stagnant, and it ultimately just falls apart. You get rebellions, you know what I'm saying? It just becomes mad, just becomes crazy. We're not meant to be like that, man. Moses was humble. David was humble. These were kings, these were rulers. They gave orders, but at the same time, they had care towards the people that they were ruling over. And they understood that wisdom. Solomon understood that wisdom. Then his son came in and then he tried to do madness. Put the people under pressure for no reason, because he thought it was about him. The Lord didn't give you those people so you could put pressure on them. You're ruling in the stead of the Lord as a steward, as a shepherd, because the shepherd's over the sheep, but the shepherd is still
A king is meant to better his nation.
you're supposed to better them. Wait, think about it this way: you're a shepherd, right? You're over the sheep, but don't you have to feed the sheep
Look after the
sometimes?
sheep,
Sometimes you gotta go and feed the sheep. Yeah, even your children, man. You're over your children, but sometimes you're serving them. You're giving them food.
100%, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you have to become like a servant to your own children. Like, but that's part of your authority and your rulership over them. You know, there's a balance to that aspect, man, that the Lord was trying to let the apostles know. You can't let power get to your head and forget that there's a power above you. And even the power that's above you serves you in a particular way, because the Lord is taking care of you.
Yep.
And then but that don't mean that, we tell the Most High what to do.
That's not it is, yeah.
But the Most High still provides water, provides food, provides all these things for us.
Yep.
He's not just up there, you know, the Lord is providing benefits for us.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So we got to think about that when you're in a position, whether it is even among your family. You don't be a madman. You're there to facilitate a rule which is ultimately going to be mutually beneficial to everyone.
Yep.
You know, and everyone rises up.
Yep. You got this quickly?
Yeah.
Hebrews 13:17 says, obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves, for they watch over your souls. They're watching out for you.
See?
You know, that's the job you're meant to have as a leader, you know, in whatever capacity that is. You're meant to watch over others, man.
Yeah.
You know, you're taking care of them.
But then you get wicked niggas that don't see that. So even you get guys that are in Great Millstone, which you don't have to be in Great Millstone. There's no prerequisite to be in Great Millstone. And just because you're not in Great Millstone don't mean you can't be of the elect. Just go teach. But some guys want to be in great millstones, and the apostles will lay down a rule or an order, right? And then they're upset with it, and they think it's some kind of oppression. But everything the apostles say, it's with good reason. Because they don't, I know for a fact that they're not doing it because, oh, listen, yeah, I'm an apostle, so these niggas have to do what I say anyway. So let me just flex it. And you get managers, even at work, you get managers like that. Just fucking come around and tell you some bullshit. And you're like, what the fuck is he talking about, man? But you know they're on a power trip. They're just trying to say some shit and stamp their authority and make everybody know that they're the in thing. And it's always the incompetent managers that do that. They're like, what's it called? Compensating for the fact they're really fucking useless. No. The apostles are telling, like when they told us, look man, I don't want you guys to really be too active with this Hebrew thing on Facebook. Then all of a sudden you see other guys that's active on Facebook getting into problems. That's why they said that.
Experience, wisdom.
We're not gonna have no school with a bunch of women in the school. You brothers just keep your women at home. If women are single, they can watch from wherever they are. We're trying to keep that separate. The reason is because in the time we're in, it's not conducive, man. And they've experienced that it can cause problems which ultimately hamper the ministry and stunt the growth of men. So they're doing that for a reason. Now you got the IUIC, they see them having all these different problems with the women. So they're not doing it just to be pricks or, you know, they're doing it for your sake. So they're ruling not as selfishness, but which having a care towards the Most High and the position that's been given onto them. They're being shepherds.
Taking care of the sheep, yep.
Taking care of the sheep. So not only they're rulers, but in some aspects they're servants too, because they're ministering. But guys can't balance that in their mind, and they'll go crazy, and all of a sudden, you know, they start doing crazy. It's crazy shit, man. Like the apostles is oppressing me. They're acting crazy. Apostles ain't doing nothing, man. Like to you, man. And at the end of the day, if you don't want to be in Great Millstone no more, don't be in Great Millstone. Go teach and do what you want to do. Just make sure that you make it out, you're right at the end of it. But guys, you know, and you got this guy, a war, now he has a war, endless war, trying to argue this and argue that. You hurt, my man. And it's sad to see. You hurt and you just want to be right, man. And really now your gospel has become built on you and your emotions and how you feel against the apostles. And you can see it quite clearly. It's ain't about you, man.
Yep. It says, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, right? Because they're responsible. You know what I mean? If they ain't doing the job correctly, guess what? The Most High gonna have a problem with them.
Yep. Like a ruler of a nation, they was meant to what? Rule by the law.
Because they didn't.
This is a problem, because then if you're not ruling by the law, then you're fucking up the people.
Yep. That's right. It says that they may do it with joy and not with grief.
It's key to understand that when in Solomon's rule, all the people flourished, man. The tribes were flourishing under Solomon's rule. We read it in the scriptures, man. Silver was as stone, man. Tribes were flourishing, business was flourishing, economics, everything. Booming. Under Solomon's rulership, righteous rulership. You come to the king, you're going to get righteous rulership. You're not going to get what Jake was doing in Jeremiah 5, where they start acting funny style, and start judging for money and being biased and corrupt and start being selfish. That's when you start leaning into to oppression. Or if you want to get anything done, you need to grease a man's palm. You know what do they say? They judge for reward.
Yeah. It says that they may do it with joy and not grief. Okay, the elders, apostles, brothers out there that are doing the job right ain't meant to be, you know, ruling with malice. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm gonna do this to that bro because I don't like that brother. You know, he did this or he did that. So I'm gonna say, you know, pass this judgment on him or whatever. That's not how we're supposed to be dealing with each other, man. You know, we rule righteously amongst each other. We do the right thing, pursuing to the body. You know, to the brothers in that, right? When you start, you know, making decisions based on how you feel about something, or you know, because you don't like this person or that, or you know, whatever the case may be, that's when you're not doing things the right way. You're not ruling righteously. You know, that's how it is, right?
Yeah, even as a shepherd, sometimes you gotta make a sacrifice for your sheep.
Yep.
You have to get up early. You don't want to get up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta do that, man.
Yep. So just finish this up quickly. So that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable unto you. So you got a guy like that, he's not going to be profitable to you. He's not going to help you grow. You know? But at the same time, those that are on the receiving end of it, like, you know, from righteous judgment, you got to understand that, look, you're getting got on right now because you need to address something in you.
And then if you buck, like you're saying, if you buck up against that, you're not helping yourself.
Yep.
You're just causing a problem, and that's not going to help you either. Just like, and then you could bring it back to a family. You start bucking up against the righteous rulership of the father, and being rebellious like Esau encourages. So you're doing be rebellious against your parents. What always ends up happening? You end up fucking yourself up.
Yep.
I'm going to Hollywood, you know, and all this shit. It's true. Enough for you don't listen to their parents and they end up in mad situations because they didn't realize that what their parents were saying to them was for their own benefit. They're making a decision for them, which is good.
Arranged marriage.
Back in the ancient where you had arranged marriage, they didn't. The arranged marriage was mutually beneficial because the scripture would tell you you're not supposed to give your daughter to a man that ain't got wisdom.
Yeah.
You're gonna take things into context and make the decision that's beneficial.
Your father would take the measure of the man. You know, he would have known him for a long time. He would have seen him grow up. You know, would have known his father. You know, what things they get into.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
they were mainly in the as it tells you, they were mainly in the. Come on, man.
You know,
they knew the man was a good family. You wouldn't want to give your daughter to some shitty family, man.
Yeah.
Just like you wouldn't want your son marrying some woman from a dirty family. So you tell his ass, yo, stay away from them people there.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to do that no more. And you know what? I still had this thing to read on, because before we get out of here, I want to read this part, which is very key. Like your man Kanye West, yeah, he married a woman that had a sex tape. The fact that he married a woman with a sex tape shows you he didn't care about his children.
Yeah.
He didn't care about his children, because that's going to be your children's mother.
Incriminating.
Now let's read this. Let's finish off this, man. Ancient Israel was a patrilocal society. Adult sons lived with their father. When they married, usually within the clan, the bride came to live in the husband's father's house. A separate structure was often added to accommodate the new couple, attached to either existing structures or adjoining a common courtyard. A group of households might typically be located together to form villages. Purdue suggests that most villages in Israel's early history consisted of no more than 100 people. By the time of the monarchy, some urbanization had begun, but this small rural village framework was present down to the time of Yahushua. So you might get bigger cities and so forth. So in a way, family can be viewed as a concentric circles, the natural law, but viewed as concentric circles with the household at the center, the clan further out, and the tribe existing out beyond the clan. But there is another dimension as well, the fourth dimension. The Israelites also had a strong sense of connectedness with their ancestors and with yet to be born descendants. So you understood that you had forefathers and you're going to have progeny. Yeah? So what you did mattered on both ends of that scale, not just the people that were on the flat surface, but above them and just below, basically. It says the Israelites also had a strong sense of connectedness with their ancestors and with yet to be born descendants. These folks were understood to be part of the household, clan, and tribe as well. When someone died, he or she was said to be gathered with his or her ancestors. As time went by, the ideas of clan and particularly tribe became somewhat fictive relationships without always having a strict biological connection involved. So they started dissipating and falling away from that. But you see how the point is that you even supposed to, the decisions you make are supposed to have even your children in remembrance. So for instance, when you're choosing a wife, you should be choosing a wife that's going to reflect on your children. So you're not just being single-minded. That's just one example. You're not just being superficial-minded. You're like, yo, how's being with this person going to affect my children? Or how is my actions now? Like, you know how many fathers or mothers have done things that have disgraced their children? Disgraced! Did you think about that? Do you think about one day you're going to have children and they're going to have to face the fucking dishonor that you have done? But what's his name said? Castillo said, he's born a waste man.
Yeah, it's too late. Now.
Straight away,
It's too
you're
late.
born a waste man because something that your mother did or something that your father did. Because they never thought about you
You're
before they
tainted
did that
already.
shit, man.
Yeah.
Brought great dishonor, and now you have to try and reclaim that, bring it back to before that, which is hard to do.
So when you get a wife, it's going to be beneficial to you, man. So when a man, you know, if I would pair someone up, it was beneficial to their sons, you know, and that's what a woman's supposed to be. If it help me, it's meant to help you in your endeavors. So if marrying you to this woman is going to help you do that,
Yeah.
and grow the family, or you know,
And even the
unite these two
connection,
families
the
and-
connections you're making to your family.
Yep.
Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, we can make a strong connection between our families. So I got more sons that I can marry and
Yep,
more.
yep.
Yeah, man.
You know,
It's-
but when you get waste girl, you're gonna get waste.
well, when
soldiers,
you
know?
only think one deep,
Yeah,
when all
yeah.
you care about is yourself in a specific situation and your own lust and your selfishness, and it's not just, it's just in so many areas of life. It would be so much better if people respected the law, right? Respected the Most High, respected the law, and had respect towards their ancestors, their contemporaries, and their children. Your actions would be so much more guided. Your actions would be so much more better. But people don't give a fuck about nothing. They just do what they want to do and fuck everyone's life up, and it's cool.
Yeah.
You know? Because they give no consideration to anything. It's not how life is supposed to be. We're supposed to be more enlightened than that. We're supposed to be wiser than that. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be. Because it's all
Oh, yeah.
written here how to be.
Yep.
But you look at this world, man. All you gotta do is go on social media, and people are just being. What are you doing, man?
See how far away they are from this, from the scriptures. It's a
And
big gulf, man.
The biggest gift you could give to your children is an example, man. Like that one Jake I work with, wearing makeup. And the first thing I thought when he was put makeup on his face like a girl, I'm like, bro, you got sons, bro. Why the fuck would you? Why? Like, if someone told me to wear makeup, like alarm bells should be ringing. First of all, you should be thinking, yo, that's a disrespect to the Most High. Judgment right there. Then you're thinking, raw, that's a disrespect to my dad. My dad didn't fucking work his whole life, so I could grow up, big grown ass man, hair in my backside, balls dropped, and put fucking makeup on. How disrespectful is that? How would I feel if my son was wearing fucking makeup? How disrespected would that be? He never thought about his dad. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't think about his son. Like, your son's gonna see that. So what if your son decides to be a fucking trans now and be like, yeah, 'cause my dad is cool. My dad's wearing fucking makeup. Or has to face the shame next man. Yo, your dad, this is a picture of your dad with fucking makeup on.
Getting picked on them bodies for that.
You see how the whole thing just becomes fucked? And all you need to do is take all those things into context. You're like, nah, man, I ain't wearing no
Ain't
makeup.
worth it.
I ain't doing that, man. I ain't doing that. Even if you felt like you wanted to do it, you're like, look,
Nah,
man,
it's not-
that's
it's not-
disrespectful,
that's
man.
not the best thing
I'm
to do.
disrespecting the Most High, his son, my father, my future children, progeny. 'Cause that picture gonna be up there forever. Imagine if people thought like this, how many things wouldn't happen? Going back to Japan, people don't even want to steal. They're like, nah, man.
It's like saying fuck them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't care.
basically.
I don't care.
I don't fuck how it affects
I don't care
anyone.
what they go through, what he goes through, or I'm just gonna do me.
I was just doing, you only live once. Yeah, and then, so that's why we're trying to bring back to the idea of a brotherhood, the idea of family, the idea of that love, and how the law, the principles within the law represent that. Loving the Heavenly Father, yeah, loving your brother as thyself. These are real concepts that are very important to life, and that's what Yahweh Shai was all about, man. That's what he was preaching. And they stoned him, and eventually, well, they tried to stone him, and eventually they killed him for it. They said, no, we don't want to live like that. Imagine that. Yahweh Shai said, love thy neighbor as thyself, and they had a fucking problem with that.
They say he that hateth me loveth death. Well, that's what you've been living this whole time. It's death.
Said, what did Yahweh Shai say? I am the door.
On the way.
The sheep cometh in and goeth onto pasture. They had a problem with that. They wanted to stay in the wilderness. That's crazy people, man. That's why 2/3 of our people, they're really insane, and you can't be around insane people because they're erratic. It's not safe. That's why you got to stay away from them. It's true. You go into a mentalist. The reason why mentally ill people is so difficult to be around them, because you don't know what the fuck they might do. They're crazy.
Yeah.
Someone starts eating shit in front of you, you can't be around that person, man, because if you do that, I don't know what the fuck else. You can only be around people that you can predict their behavior.
Yeah. Feel safe anyway. Yeah.
You can't feel safe around people that unpredictable, and that's the 2/3. They could do anything, man. They could do anything because they're out there and they're off the reservation. They're outlandish, man. So, Scripture said, be not unequally yoked with unbelievers, man.
Yep.
Because 2/3 of our people, they don't want to do good. They don't like the light. They've already rejected the way of righteousness. They want the darkness, and the darkness is gonna hurt you. So it's just best in this world to avoid them. Yeah?
Yep.
I don't go where these niggas are. If I go work, I go to work. And then I might go to a selective work but more time by myself, man, with my family or with the brothers. And I don't want to go to, if I find out that a place is going to have too many niggas, man, I don't really want to be there, man. Niggas is unpredictable. I don't know what these niggas thinking. I don't know what.
Too much dark energy.
There's too many egos in one place.
Yeah.
There's too many. You know?
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, man. This is wild. This is free radicals. In the kingdom, you go anywhere.
Yep.
Free liberty, and you can expect brothers to treat you good, man. Just like now, if brothers travel from camp to camp, brothers always get treated good. Brothers come London, you're gonna get treated good. Brothers will make sure you're taken care of. We're bringing back that old way.
Yeah, just a minute, right here.
Yeah, we'll do
Still
that. And then
Tobit,
we'll close up.
This is, Tobit 7, just a little down quick. And when they were come to Ecbatan, they came to the house of Raguel, and Sarah met them, and after they had saluted one another, she brought them into the house. Then said Raguel to Edna his wife, how like is this young man to Tobit my cousin? And Raguel asked them, from whence are ye, brethren? To whom they said, we are of the sons of Naphthalim, which are captive in Nineveh. Then he said to them, do you know Tobit our kinsman? And they said, we know him. Then said he is he in good health? And they said, he is both alive and in good health. And Tobias said, he is my father. Then Raguel leaped up and kissed him and wept. And he blessed him.
Oh, you know, that's good. And he blessed him. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's all the Lord wanted, man. That's crazy. God, right?
And said unto him, thou art the son of an honest and good man.
Good reputation.
Good reputation, man.
Yeah.
Goes a long way.
But there's a scripture saying, oh crap, man, why does it always do this?
A good name?
Good name, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's worth, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But when he had heard that Tobit was blind, he was sorrowful and wept. And likewise Edna his wife and Sarah his daughter wept. Moreover, they entertained them cheerful, and after that they had killed a lamb of the flock, they set store of meat on the table. Then said Tobias to Raphael, brother Azarias, speak of those things of which thou didst talk in the way, and let this business be dispatched. So they communicate the matter with Raguel, and Raguel said to Tobias, eat and drink and make merry, for it is meet that thou shouldest marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto thee the truth. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night they came in unto her.
Peak. It's not looking good, bro.
Beware.
Nevertheless, for the present be merry. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another. Raguel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner, for thou art our cousin, and she is thine, and the merciful power give you good success in all things.
And that's a lot of times you be marrying, they're pretty much cousins. Like second cousins, third cousins.
Whatever,
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Oh, you got...
very common practice back in the day.
Yeah, but you see these niggas, same niggas is fucking their stepdaughters and their daughters, and they're talking about cousins, man. See, same niggas is laying down with men. Fuck you niggas, man. There's nothing wrong with it, because the Lord said there's nothing wrong with it, man. You can marry like your cousin and that. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool in the scriptures. Here it is, these niggas is faggots. I shouldn't even say that word, but here it is, these men are on the full LGBT bandwagon, but you can't marry your cousin.
Your cousin's off limits though.
It's just, oh my goodness, bro. It's like you can't deal with these people, man.
Yeah, they're deemed as separate lines now because, you know, another man's daughter is of a separate line now. You know, that's why cousins is permitted. You know, can't be doing your daughters.
Yeah, which a lot of you, Jake, are doing now.
Yeah.
Your daughters and your stepdaughters too, which even your stepdaughter is supposed to be off limits.
Yep.
But you see, that whole stepdaughter thing is not really even supposed to exist that much. This whole idea of what they call mixed families is really new. And you know what's come along with that whole mixed family thing? A whole bunch of child abuse. Not just sexual abuse, but physical abuse. That's one of the #1 factors in whether a child is being abused in any way, is whether they have a stepfather or a stepmother. It's a fact. Children are abused less in households where basically their father or their mother is all part of the same household. Biologicals. It's a fact. This whole idea of step business has caused a lot of freaky business to be going on. But that's a new thing that got introduced with these high divorce rates, and then people coming and broken homes, and people taking 2 broken homes and putting them together and all this crap. This way is dumb, man. It's not supposed to be like that. He's got a man, he's got 1 wife, 2 wife, 3 wife, and all of his children. That's all that his household, and they all understand they're part of the same family, man.
Yep.
They share the same father, right? They got their mother, and this one's got their mother. Not all this goofy shit that's happening now. You got a dad, but he's not really your dad.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of molestation that happens off the back of that, and it's true.
Yep.
Yeah?
Because then he's my, that's not his daughter. That's the excuse he gives himself. You know?
Yeah. Because it's not supposed to be. It's not natural, man.
Yeah.
Go on now.
Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her way to thy father, and he blessed them.
Yeah, because the daughter would go back to live with the other
The son, his father.
the son, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the beautiful thing about that, and that's why the scripture speaks about you really marry Israelite women, right? Which the reason for that was more so in the ancient world than it is now, right? Because our people are not really Israelites, right? But the reason for that is, again, it's the continuity of not only family, but of culture. Because if your son's marrying an Israelite woman, well, that Israelite woman has been programmed with the same program that you got. Despite what tribe they are, there might be subtle differences, but as long, if you're marrying an Israelite woman, you're supposed to be getting a woman that worships the Most High, that knows how
founded in the law.
They know how things work.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're marrying a woman from another nation, they might not necessarily have grown up. Well,
You got to teach them. And
they don't know, and they've come up with a whole different bunch of habits. Yeah. It's always easier to marry within your own culture, because that person
It's like
is like you. They're like, that girl you're marrying is pretty much probably going to be like your mother is, or like, without maybe some slight differences in how their family might cook a certain thing. But it's basically going to be the same, in a way. It's curry goat or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So you could get down with the get down, and you ain't got to worry with no outlandish shit coming inside. Yeah, so that's the reason for that. You know? How's she gonna draw you away to another god? She worships the same god you worship.
Exactly.
Like in this
It's a
case.
safe bet,
It's a safe bet. It's just better that way. But now you could get with an Israelite woman and she have you worshipping Hotep, brother.
1,000 different philosophies and all these women out here,
Bitch
man.
could be Hindu.
From another next door neighbor worshiping a different god. You know what I
Because
mean?
Jake is into all
Messed
kind of
up.
idols anyway, man.
Yep.
So you get with an Israelite woman, you're still in danger.
Danger all of a sudden. Yep. That was it on that.
Become a Jehovah wickedness.
Fine.
You got sir?
Yeah, you close up on this.
Yeah,
on
okay.
this. This is from Matthew 25. We'll start from verse 34. So then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Right, this is Yahushua speaking, right? It says, For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? So there were questions like, well, when did we do this? Right? It says, when saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. And then shall ye say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed.
See that? A stranger, and you took me not in. So that shows you that was a part of our culture, man.
Yep.
That was a part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? And even the scriptures where many have entertained angels unaware, which you were just reading in Tobit. Tobit did that.
Yep, Raphael. Yep.
Yeah.
Says, I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick, and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me.
So that just shows you right there that the Lord is about how you treat the brothers, man, how you treat your people, man. Because the Lord always wanted us to treat each other right, man. Now, like I said, right now we got to mainly focus that in on the brotherhood, man, you know. And then so once we're all purified in the kingdom, that's how we're gonna be. No matter what Israelite you see, you're just gonna show man love, man, straight off the bat. Like, oh, who's your dad? All right, cool. Hey, come back to my castle, blood. We gonna treat you good up in here, man. And you know, there's little glimpses of that. I remember when I was younger, man, one time I went past the borderline. But because, you know, there's different times though. It ain't like that now probably. But remember one time I went across the borderline and I must have like crossed over the road to a whole people I didn't even know. I didn't know these people. Because usually I'm supposed to stay like, you know, I had my uncle's yard was here, my auntie's yard was here, and I lived here with my mom and dad. And I knew the people that was along this road and the old woman above. But the people on the other side of the road, I didn't know. I didn't know who they are. So anyway, I must have like been across the road and went over there, rebellious, yeah, went over. And then I buck up upon man just there chilling and drinking, and they were having a party or whatever. And I just rolled up to the party and someone was like, oh, what's this kid doing there? Who are you? And I told him, yeah. I told him who my dad was. He's like, oh, okay, come. And man, fucking, they had fresh breadfruit that they had fresh breadfruit that they had roasted up on the fire, man. Just bust that with the butter on there, give it to me, blood, and they say, yeah, take some home. And they sent me on my way, man. But that was like a glimpse. There are certain glimpses where Jake kind of act right, but it's not enough. You're supposed to be like that, all of us, all the time. That's what the Lord demanded. Perfection, all of us, all the time, treating each other right, man. Treating each other good, man. But that's how it's gonna be when the Lord establishes the elect in the kingdom, man. We're all gonna be like that. We're all gonna be at liberty to be at one with each other and in harmony and love, man.
United, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's right.
One big family, you see it there, you know? 12 tribes.
One big happy family, man. That's it.
Yeah, man. So right, yeah, so you know, we just wanted to speak about that, man. Sometimes we got to talk about these things, man, and get an understanding about what it is that we believe in and what is it that we need to achieve and where we're going to, man. You know, and analyze how bad it is here and how far removed it is away from how it's supposed to be. It's far removed, because you go somewhere you ain't got no family. Even if you got family, they might shun you. Jay could treat you. You ain't gonna get you No one ain't gonna give you nowhere to stay.
No one trusts you enough.
No one trusts you enough, man. That's just, you know, but it might be rightfully so. But that just shows you we've gone way downhill, man. Because even Yahweh Shai spoke about strangers, and because that was part of the culture back then.
Yep.
You know, that's why the disciple could go places, people would take them in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can stay there, da, 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 da. You know? So anyway, with that, we say Kal Halal, Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Kadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to your brothers in the highways and the byways teaching His word, in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Shalom. Yo, that breadfruit was sweet stuff.